of the Islamic State. So the Washington Post doesn't want to take the terrorists' word for it and wants, you know what the Washington Post blamed it on? I'll give you 3 guesses. The first 2 don't count. Gun violence. Gun violence. Now, we've seen terrorist acts involving trucks, involving knives, involving hammers, involving bombs. But this guy uses guns, and that's what the Washington Post focused on. Let me quote from this article. This goofy, insane characterization of what happened a year ago yesterday in Orlando. While describing a memorial service for the victims, the writer says, quote, "By the end of the night, more than 1,000 people had gathered to remember what happened last June when Orlando became the first U.S. city of the summer before Falcon Heights, Minnesota, Baton Rouge, and Dallas to be upended by gun violence." That's what it was, gun violence, that brought those 49 people to their deaths. Not Islamic terrorism. Not a guy pledging his allegiance to ISIS and telling the police on the 911 calls exactly what he was doing and why he was doing it. It just makes your stomach churn that these guys are so blind and so desperate in their refusal to hold Islamic terrorism responsible for what happened in Orlando. This didn't happen in Afghanistan. This didn't happen somewhere else. This isn't in Paris. This isn't in Germany. This is Orlando, one of the happiest, most inviting, wonderful cities in America. 49 people massacred. And the Washington Post doesn't even mention Islamic terrorism. This is what we're up against. This is why Donald Trump got elected. President Trump is not somebody who's afraid to call out Islamic terrorism as something that we have got to contend with. And yet the mainstream media, one of the giants of liberal journalism, the Washington Post, can't even be bothered to mention it. Not one time in this article entitled, "1 year ago, 49 people died at Pulse nightclub." The Washington Post insists gun violence is to blame. It's sickening. It's absolutely disgusting.
Breaking now on the Mike Gallagher Show.
All right, the Deputy Attorney General is on Capitol Hill testifying before the Senate. Here is Jeanne Shaheen asking Rod Rosenstein if the special counsel, Bob Mueller, should be dismissed, as has been excitedly reported in the last 24 hours or so in Washington.
At this point, have you seen any evidence of good cause for firing of Special Counsel Mueller?
No, I have not.
And have you given the Special Counsel full independence from the Justice Department to conduct his investigation?
Yes, Senator, I appreciate that question. At the last hearing I attended, I explained it would require a long time to explain exactly why. I'm confident that he has full independence. The short answer is, though, that regulation, as you may know, was written and implemented during the Clinton administration under the authority of Attorney General Reno. I know the folks who wrote that. They wrote it to deal with these sort of situations, and I am confident that he will have sufficient independence. And it's certainly theoretically possible that the Attorney General could fire him, but that's the only person who has authority to fire him. And in fact, the chain of command for the special counsel is only directly to the Attorney General, or in this case, the acting Attorney General. So nobody else in the department would have authority to do that. And you have my assurance that we're going to faithfully follow that regulation, and Director Mueller is going to have a full degree of independence that he needs to conduct that investigation appropriately.
All right, that's the Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, testifying moments ago on Capitol Hill. I don't see it happening. I don't see Trump dismissing the special counsel. I just don't see that happening. But then again, I should learn by now not to make any predictions about the Trump administration. I get the daily Axios AM email from Mike Allen, and he's a longtime Politico, and he says one of his lessons in today's email was Be smart. Remember that we're living through history that will be studied and debated until the end of time. Many Trump backers, both the eager and reluctant ones, enjoy the destruction of norms and bemoan the highly critical coverage of this presidency. But we should never lose sight that we are experiencing a daily display of unprecedented actions and behaviors. Don't worry, Mike. We get it. We understand we are in uncharted waters. I said that last night. I was a guest with Lou Dobbs. Ebony Williams and I both appeared with Lou at about 7:45 last night, or 7:55, whatever it was, Eastern time, and said that on air, that we've just got to recognize that these are uncharted waters. We've never experienced anything like that. Frankly, I think it's fantastic. And I'm excited about the possibilities, and I'm very optimistic about the country's future. But we get that we are in uncharted waters here. Jay, you're next up on the Mike Gallagher Show, 19 minutes before the hour. How you doing, Jay?
I'm terrific, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing great. Welcome aboard. What's on your in your mind today as we go through another day in paradise?
Well, I've got a laundry list, so I don't want to take up too much time. But first of all, I'm just not happy with Reince Priebus and Paul Ryan at all. And I know Reince had a lot to do with who fills what spots in the cabinet, who could stay, who shouldn't be allowed to continue in their job.
Right.
James Comey should have never been allowed to continue in his job because he bungled so many things prior to even being working for the current administration.
Yeah, but to President Trump's credit, though, he took care of that problem, didn't he?
Right, that's exactly right. It took him a little while to get there, though. But the thing that really concerns me is the morphing that's going on with this whole investigation. It was about a phony Russian meddling in an election to start, and now that's all been blown up. So it quickly changes to obstruction of justice, where Donald Trump himself told James Comey, I want you to pursue all satellites. Any outliers that I have in my cabinet, you find out somebody who is trying to personally benefit from some Russian meddling or whatever, I want to know, and the people need to know, and we will make sure that that guy's fired as well. So it's actually not obstruction of justice. It's actually giving him more keys to more cars to find more people.
We know what this is, and this phrase, I think, is so crucial. This is an investigation in search of a crime. And, and if any of us had the full weight of the federal government coming after us on any issue, whether it's our company or privately or business-wise, how long would it take the government, if they're searching for something, to upend every rock and turn over everything and look at every document, go ahead.
That leads to my next point. I got 3 points on this investigation and why it should stop. First of all, it's a media filibuster. Mm-hmm. That's really all it is. The media is doing the job of the democratically losing currently Congress by filibustering this, by putting this investigation out there. Because what does that do? That takes people from the Senate who should be doing the people's business and implementing the Trump agenda, and it puts them on these rooms with these people to ask these silly, ridiculous questions.
All right.
About it.
So let me ask you, I'm up against the clock here. I'm fighting the clock here, Jay, but tell me, so when you say it should stop, so you support the idea of President Trump dismissing Mueller?
Well, I would hope that it would be someone else and not have to.
Well, according to what we just heard from Rod Rosenstein, it's got to be the Attorney General.
Okay, well then let's let Jeff Sessions do his last thing.
All right, Jay, I got you. All right, loud and clear. Appreciate you very much. More coming up, including the very latest on the release of this student from Virginia, the college student from North Korea. He's on his way home to mom and dad. We'll give you an update and more on this busy edition of the Mike Gallagher Show. Stay with us. I always love it when I've been taking a product that I promote on the radio before the chance that I had to tell you about them on the radio. That's the great story about that is Relief Factor. And I love sharing good news stories. You know how much I love the MyPillow. I talk about MyPillow all the time, and the Mike Lindell story, which is so incredibly impressive, and how many people come up to me all the time and say, thank you, Mike, for telling me about MyPillow. I get the same response about, Relief Factor. This is a great product that goes to work on the inflammation that causes back pain, leg pain, hip pain, neck pain. I had lower back pain, heard about Relief Factor on air, did the 3-week quick start for $19.95 that I want you to try as well. My lower back pain left in about 2 weeks. So give it a shot. Don't just take my word for it. Go to ReliefFactor.com. You could take the 3-week quick start. For $19.95, you could try Relief Factor. I take a packet in the morning, a packet in the evening, and I'm pain-free. No lower back pain thanks to Relief Factor. Go to ReliefFactor.com. $19.95 for the 3-week quick start. ReliefFactor.com, or give them a call. 800-500-8384. 800-500-8384 for Relief Factor.
Mike Gallagher.
Credit drop. Recent 520.
It's hard to know what's up with your identity if you only get part of the story.
Of course, transactions, problem, account closure.
That's what happens when you rely on monitoring your credit to protect you from identity theft.
Charges, Vegas, Tuesday.
You might detect credit changes, but you can miss threats like a cell phone account or new loan in your name, or that your personal info is for sale on the dark web.
In particular, red flag. Bad.
Why not get a more complete story to help protect your identity? At LifeLock, we detect a range of identity threats, and if you have a problem, one of our US-based specialists will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock gives you more than you'll get from just monitoring your credit. Memberships start at $9.99 a month plus applicable taxes. Join now for 10% off. Go to LifeLock.com and enter promo code SMART. That's promo code SMART. LifeLock. More detection, more protection.
Announcing ProFlower's brand new Pro Gifter service. It's the easiest fail-proof way to never forget an event and look thoughtful all year. The Pro Gifter service allows you to schedule 3 bouquet deliveries to the same or up to 3 different addresses up to 1 year in advance. If you're a procrastinator or have a tendency to forget anniversaries or birthdays and such, this is the service for you. 3 bouquets with vases and free shipping, all for $99. You're gonna save time. You're gonna save money, up to $70 in savings. Pro Flowers buys directly from the best growers, so you know you're getting fresh flowers, backed by a 7-day freshness guarantee or your money back. Now, you probably already have an occasion in mind, so go to proflowers.com right now. Look for the Pro Gifter banner right on the home page. You pick your flowers, you set the delivery dates, and you're done. That's proflowers.com. proflowers.com. According to the American Heart Association, Americans age 40 and over produce only 50% as much nitric oxide as they did at age 20. But a 2016 double-blind placebo-controlled study suggests that effective nitric oxide supplementation may lower blood pressure in patients with prehypertension. Neo 40 is the revolutionary tablet that melts in your mouth, tastes great, and may immediately help your body produce nitric oxide to support healthy circulation and blood pressure levels. Try Neo 40 today. Get a 30-day supply free. It comes with your first order and has a money-back guarantee. Also receive free nitric oxide test strips to see the results in your own body and free shipping on your entire order. You'll love the results, guaranteed, or you get your money back. Call 800-901-4391. That's 800-901-4391. Or visit Mike40.com. That's Mike40.com.
How's that kitchen remodel coming along?
I haven't found a reliable contractor and have no idea where to start.
What about Home Advisor?
Home what?
Home Advisor. They match you to pre-screened and top-rated pros for any kind of home project. You can even check pricing and book appointments online.
What's the catch?
No catch. Home Advisor is completely free to use.
Really? I'll check it out.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app.
Home Advisor.
Well, I love a rainy night. I love a rainy night. I love to hear the thunder, watch the lightning when it lights up the sky.
Mike Gallagher.
10 minutes before the hour. I always people give me a hard time because I always rant and rave and talk so much about My Pillow. It's just I get very excited because I know how many people are getting a great night's sleep because of this pillow. And the story of Mike Lindell is such an impressive one. And with all the anti-Trump stuff going on, with all the hate, I always love bringing back and reminding you about a very successful businessman who has such an impressive story, he went to the Trump inauguration, he's met with President Trump, and he is not a guy who is somebody who is, out to get Donald Trump. And he's, as I said, a very, very successful businessman. Let's welcome back to the show Mike Lindell, the creator, the inventor, the man behind this incredible, impressive pillow, the My Pillow. Hey, Mike, how have you been, my friend?
Real good, Mike. I want to be on your show. I always enjoy it.
Oh, I always love having you on because people listen to you and love your story. Before I talk a little bit about the state of small businesses in America right now and the direction the country is going under President Trump, I got to share something personal with you. My dog had double cataract surgery last week. Now, that shows how nuts I am that I spent a boatload on cataract surgery for my 12-year-old diabetic dog. You know what, Mike? She has been curled up. She did great. She's doing fine. She got the collar on. She's curled up on her My Pillow doggy bed. And
oh, that's awesome.
I mean, she loves. I've got two of them in the house. She's got two places where she goes right to that bed because the patented fill that you came up with and invented with the pillow, you got those in doggy beds too. So for dog lovers, I want people to know about the My Pillow doggy bed. Have you had the dog bed for a while?
Yeah. Well, this new one I came up with, the dogs, they love them so much. It's 100% money back guarantee and warranty. So even for the dogs that they chew them or whatever,
or they don't like them.
These are they love these pillows. A lot of times I reverse engineer that too. You can wash and dry them, but they're so comfortable.
They are,
and they're you got the 3 sizes for cats and dogs.
Oh, good.
And it's been
and they're good looking too because they're brown. I got a brown one and a gray one. They've got a real good quality, classy plaid on one side and the little doggy logo on the other. And I'm not kidding you. She loves her My Pillow doggy bed. Don't forget when you go to mypillow.com to order these, if you want to get one for your dog, use the promo code Mike G to get the big discount. Mike, let's talk for a moment about regulations and small businesses. You've shared with us before the story of how difficult it is to be an entrepreneur like you are and have to face the kind of regulations that business owners have been facing. President Trump clearly wants to undo as much of that as he can, doesn't he?
Well, absolutely, and that's when I met with him when he reached out to me before the election in August of 2016, and he reached out to me as a business owner in this country. He goes, Mike, tell me the problems, with I have 1,500 employees and I'm in Minnesota. There's a lot of regulation there.
Sure.
And how are you making it? And I'm, and I've, what I told him then, and I can tell you now, it's very hard. And I hear from other business owners and entrepreneurs all the time, asking me, how do you get, in spite of all this, and there's so many, I'm getting another building right now, and just the stuff that goes into that, the layers of bureaucracy and all these things, and I was just, it does it makes it really hard.
Sure, it does. And President Trump has repeatedly expressed his desire to roll back these regulations. This is what the business world is so excited about. This is the optimism that they have about a businessman who was elected president of the United States. I believe it's a huge reason why he was elected president.
Absolutely, he's going to just reverse engineer what the problems are.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter how if you roll that back, it's people, I don't know, it's almost the same stuff all the time. Is you're paying all these people to make these regulations that don't mean anything.
Yep.
To get rid of these things. I mean, I can't even say some of the regulations that I have in Minnesota because they're so frivolous and so unneeded.
And it's discouraging because you're trying to get
very discouraging.
Yeah. Just got a text, by the way, from Martian. I just got a text quickly from Martian, Philadelphia, who said, "I've got the MyPillow for my cat." So you're right. She's right. This is for cats or dogs. It's I had a lady in New Orleans the other day. I was there for the World War II Museum, the Spirit Awards dinner, and we had a group of listeners, and a lady was there with me, and she said, "Mike, I love the fact that Mike Lindell, whenever you see him on TV for a MyPillow commercial, always displays his cross around his neck. That's part of who you are. It's part of your story. And Mike, I just want you to know what it means to me personally to be able to partner with you and your company. It's the best pillow you'll ever sleep on in your life. It is backed by a guy with Mike Lindell's integrity, his story, his character. He's with Donald Trump every step of the way, and you're going to love this pillow. So listen. I just never want to miss an opportunity for people who haven't ordered the pillow. Go to mypillow.com. Use the promo code MikeG. We've got the Mike 4-pack special, 50% off your order. 2 premium MyPillows, 2 travel go anywhere pillows. You got to use the promo code MikeG when you go to mypillow.com or pick up the phone and call them. 800-928-6034. 800-928-6034. You know the song by now.
The best night's sleep in the whole wide world is MyPillow.com.
Promo code Mike G. God bless Mike Lindell. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Mike.
All the best. Coming up, the very latest on kind of a preview of Attorney General Sessions' testimony today. And Megyn Kelly is under fire over at NBC for interviewing Alex Jones next week. We'll dive into that controversy next. The big win in November continues to enrage the left. It's a wake-up call. The president has done an awful lot to cut the red tape and the regulatory burdens that have been strangling businesses for the past 8 years. Much-needed corporate tax cuts can put our companies and workers on an even playing field with the rest of our competition around the world. The Democrats, the media, are counting on us to blow it. The AARP, which helped and fought hard to get Obamacare passed, has been silent. Well, AMAC stands with President Trump on these crucial issues. You can take a stand by joining me and join AMAC. If you're over 50, I want you to join AMAC because you'll get a 5-year membership for $59. AMAC delivers the very best benefits and discounts to its members, everything from health insurance benefits to hotels, restaurant discounts. Go to my website, mikeonline.com, and look for the AMAC banner ad, or just give them a call, 888-262-2006, 888-262-2006. Join AMAC and stand with American business owners and American workers. Join AMAC today.
I was fed up with the overwhelming liberal bias in public schools, so I decided to homeschool my kids. The problem was finding a curriculum that represented the values I grew up with. Things like faith, family, patriotism, and the truth about our country's history. Then I checked out BJU Press. BJU Press has everything our homeschool needs, and with the right values. Go to bjupresshomeschool.com and see for yourself. You'll feel good about how you homeschool.
Your new landscaping looks amazing. Who did you use?
I found a great local pro on Home Advisor.
Home what?
HomeAdvisor.com. It's really easy to use. I just put in what I need and then they connect me with background check pros who can help.
Did you find your painter there too?
Yep, I use Home Advisor for everything.
How much does it cost?
It's free. And check it out. I can even book an appointment online.
That's so easy. How did I not know about Home Advisor?
Go to HomeAdvisor.com now or download the free app.
Home Advisor.
Mike Gallagher.
If you're familiar with cloud computing, you probably know that Amazon Web Services offers a complete set of secure compute, storage, application, and deployment services that help companies launch and scale their IT infrastructures while lowering costs. But did you know that you're still responsible for protecting your own AWS-based assets, meaning your applications and data, from advanced cyber threats? Protect your AWS with Barracuda Network's advanced firewall solutions. Visit AWS Marketplace or barracuda.com/AWS to learn more.
If you're worried about how the market's going to respond in these first 100 days of new leadership, you're not alone. Even the best experts can't predict what's going to happen in the coming year. So be smart and have a plan. Go to SaveProfitPlan.com to start your plan. Bill Pullis with Profits Run has developed a plan on how you can profit now. Go to SaveProfitPlan.com to learn how to make a little extra money each week. Trading involves risk of loss and is not appropriate for everyone. Go to safeprofitplan.com for more information.
Let the WCAB marketing team go to work for your business. It works. Call Tracy or Jim at 287-3356.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Patrick Frost. Donald Trump's spokeswoman says the president was pleased with Attorney General Jeff Sessions' testimony in front of Congress Tuesday. Sarah Huckabee Sanders tells reporters he thought Sessions did a very good job and was especially strong in denying any collusion between Mr. Trump's campaign and Russia. Republican Senator Marco Rubio says Sessions did a good job of explaining his previous meetings with Russian diplomats.
As far as the campaign involvement is concerned, not only did he state that he only had 2 meetings with ambassadors that were unremarkable, he flatly denied the 3rd meeting, and he flat out said that he didn't at any point interact with anyone he felt was perhaps operating on behalf of the Russian government under some sort of cover.
Investigations are currently underway into Russian meddling in the 2016 election. President Trump says he and Republican lawmakers will fix the nation's health care system.
Millions of American families, and I mean millions, continue to suffer from Obamacare while congressional Democrats obstruct our efforts to rescue them.
At an airport event addressing people who've had problems with Obamacare in Milwaukee, President Trump says the health care program has raised premiums on average families.
Obamacare is one of the greatest catastrophes that our country has signed into law, and the victims are innocent, hardworking Americans like Michael and Tammy, Robert and Sarah.
The repeal and replace bill may not have enough votes to get through the Senate. The Georgia sheriff says authorities still have no idea where 2 escaped inmates wanted in the killings of 2 guards are right now.
We are still desperately looking for these 2 individuals. They are armed with 9mm pistols that were taken from the correction officers. They are dangerous beyond description. If anyone sees them, they need to call 911 wherever they are and report it immediately.
Putnam County Sheriff Howard Sills says authorities are searching for Dottie Russell Rowe and Ricky Du Bois after the 2 fugitives killed the guards on their prison bus and escaped. More of these stories at townhall.com.
Are you living with pain but concerned about the side effects of drugs? I was, until I started taking 1-hour pain relief. And here's Lisa, a brave Marine who was seriously injured in Iraq.
After surviving an explosion, I was on horrible painkillers for lingering head, shoulder, and knee pain. My friend told me about 1-hour pain relief. Now I'm pain-free without the dangerous side effects.
1-hour pain relief is an all-natural extract from hops, the plant used to flavor beer.
It's safe and effective without the chemicals found in drugs, and your all-day relief starts in less than 1 hour.
Get a free 1-week trial for just a small shipping charge with no automatic shipments. Call 800-300-1014 right now or visit onehourpainrelief.com. If you suffer from pain but worry about side effects, call 800-300-1014. Stop living with pain. Call 800-300-1014 or visit onehourpainrelief.com.
The CEO of the ride-hailing company Uber is stepping aside temporarily to deal with personal and leadership issues.
Travis Kalanick, the co-founder and CEO of the ride-hailing company Uber, told employees in a memo he'll be taking a leave of absence. Kalanick says he needs to take time to grieve for his mother, who died in a boating accident last month. He adds he's responsible for the company's troubles and needs to become a better leader. The departure comes as Uber struggles on several fronts. Former Attorney General Eric Holder was hired to recommend ways to reform a corporate culture in which sexual harassment is rampant. Google is suing Uber over alleged theft of its self-driving software. Kalanick's not saying how long the leave will last. I'm Warren Levinson.
The jury in the Bill Cosby sexual assault case is drilling down on what the TV star said happened inside his suburban Philadelphia home. Jurors began their second day of deliberations Tuesday by hearing from Cosby's deposition testimony. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. State Department spokeswoman Heather Nauert says they are grateful that Otto Warmbier, an Ohio man who'd been serving a 15-year prison term in North Korea, has been freed.
We had difficulty, as you all are very well aware, in reaching him. We had to go through the government of Sweden, our protective power, in order to get any kind of information, and even then it was extremely rare. So we are grateful today that he is released.
Meanwhile, Nauert was asked if former NBA star Dennis Rodman help secure the release of the American.
I've not spoken with Dennis Rodman. I don't know why he went to North Korea. Let me reiterate. We strongly suggest that Americans do not go to North Korea.
Now it was asked to clarify.
Dennis Rodman had nothing to do with the release of Mr. Warmbier.
Critics slammed Rodman over his past trip, saying he allowed himself to be a public relations tool for North Korea. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm Patrick Foss.
Hi, Tom Green with a check on your weather going into Wednesday. Scattered thunderstorms, a low around 66, a high around 90 with scattered showers and thunderstorms, and a low 66 Wednesday night. For Thursday, partly cloudy, scattered showers, a high 88, and Friday, scattered showers and a high 88. We thank you for tuning to us for the latest in news, sports, and weather. Join Jim Bishop at 6:05 for the wake-up call, morning call-around report, and great gospel music. Lou Gillen midday. I'll be in the afternoon with the Braves baseball here on AM 590 WCAB Rutherford.
This is your total information source. The Mike Gallagher Show. The news is happening now, and we keep you connected to the headlines like no one else. And now, here is Mike Gallagher.
I was watching the news last night, sort of cable surfing, and just, man, every channel, it's like, this is just never going to end. Every day, it just seems to get more and more intense. Now, of course, is the drama over whether or not the president is considering firing Robert Mueller, the special counsel. The White House is pushing back on that report and suggesting that that's just not going to happen. I really don't think that's going to happen. And I would be surprised. But then again, I've been surprised almost every day since November 8th, 2016. Every day is a surprise. Every day is drama. And at some point, we're all going to get just sort of numb to it. We're already seeing a numbness that kind of exists. I'm still just stunned. I was reading some of the essays and columns and opinions about New York's Public Theater presenting a version of Julius Caesar in their Shakespeare in the Park series in Central Park, featuring the assassination of Donald Trump as Julius Caesar, as if that's normal, as if that's even remotely acceptable. And the pushback has been fascinating. It just shows how sort of numb we're getting to normalcy. Normalcy doesn't seem to matter anymore. It's not normal to characterize a president, a sitting president, with his severed head in the hand of a comic like Kathy Griffin. It's not normal to have a sitting president depicted being slaughtered with blood on stage and gore. But you see people who are relentlessly full of hate and hating him and hating anything this administration is trying to get accomplished. What do you think is going to result? And people are getting fearful of standing up for what they believe in. But anyway, story today, the Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein testifying before the Senate Intelligence Committee. There's no reason, or the Senate, that there's no reason to fire Mueller, a belief that that's not going to happen. And a lot of unusual things are happening sort of in the periphery. Media stories, of course, are something we're always all over. Yesterday, the media had a field day mocking the president's first cabinet meeting because all the cabinet members did a little introductory spiel, and they talked about how grateful they were and happy they were to be serving in the Trump administration. In fact, somebody put together a montage and edited, this is NBC, that sort of began all the mocking and the joking and the laughing. Here's a montage of the cabinet members expressing their support for President Trump and their appreciation to be serving the country in this way.
Greatest privilege of my life is to serve as vice president to a president who's keeping his word to the American people and assembling a team that's bringing real change.
What an incredible honor it is to lead the Department of Health and Human Services at this pivotal time under your leadership. I can't thank you enough for the privilege that you've given me and the leadership that you've shown.
Mr. President, thank you for the honor to serve the country. It's a great privilege you've given me.
Mr. President, thank you for the opportunity to help fix the trade deficit and other things.
I want to thank you for getting this country moving again and also working again.
Thank you, Mr. President. It was a great honor traveling with you around the country for the last year, and an even greater honor to be here serving in your cabinet.
On behalf of the entire senior staff around you, Mr. President, we thank you for the opportunity and the blessing that you've given us to serve your agenda and the American people, and we're continuing to work very hard every day to accomplish those goals.
All right, cue the hate Trump machine, the mocking, the taunting, the ridicule, starting with Morning Joe on MSNBC and that merry bunch of Trump haters.
Whoa, that was some sad stuff.
Your hair looks great today, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm so proud to be here with
Harold.
you.
Thank you again, Joe and Mika, for having us here. I can't even begin to express the honor and the pride I feel just being near you and all the great work you do. So thank you again.
I am just so privileged, so privileged
blessed
to be here.
Are you blessed?
I'm blessed. Blessed. And you are fantastic. There's never been anybody in this job better than you are.
And I knew that when Reince Priebus used the word blessed, that would come under considerable ridicule. Even though most normal people who got to serve their country and be part of an agenda that shapes fundamentally the Supreme Court, the Constitution, defending the Constitution, doing something that where you're really a part of history, would without hesitation use the word blessed. Well, you don't say that to people who hate the way they hate. You're not allowed to feel blessed. I mean, remember Bernie Sanders last week? Remember Bernie Sanders taking on Russell Vought, who was a Trump appointee? Remember this exchange?
In your judgment, do you think that people who are not Christians are going to be condemned?
Thank you for probing on that question. As a Christian, I believe that all individuals are made in the image of God and are worthy of dignity and respect regardless of their religious beliefs. I believe that as a Christian, that's how I should treat all individuals.
And do you think your statement that you put into that publication, they do not know God because they've rejected Jesus Christ the Son and they stand condemned, do you think that's respectful of other religions?
Senator, I wrote a post based on being a Christian and attending a Christian school that has a statement of faith that speaks clearly with regard to the centrality of Jesus Christ and salvation.
It seems to me that watching Bernie Sanders attack somebody for his Christian beliefs is not that far removed from the attacks that the Trump cabinet members, particularly Reince Priebus, received for his use of the word blessed to serve in the Trump administration. Even the left-wing Atlantic writer Emma Green took exception to Senator Sanders, writing, "It's one thing to take issue with bigotry, it's another to try to exclude people from office based on their theological convictions." But it wasn't just limited to MSNBC mocking the Trump cabinet. Check out Senator Chuck Schumer, who has been apoplectic over Donald Trump since he got elected. The New York senator who has viciously attacked Trump day in and day out. They put together a little mocking parody video of their own. This is Senator Chuck Schumer and his staff.
I want to thank everybody for coming. I just thought we'd go around the room. Lucy, how'd we do on the Sunday show yesterday?
Your tone was perfect. You were right on message.
Michelle, how'd my hair look coming out of the gym this morning?
You have great hair. Nobody has better hair than you.
Before we go any further, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity and blessing to serve your agenda.
Here's what I'll say, and I'll invite you to either agree or disagree with me. And we got a lot to cover this hour. There's breaking news. I want to try to tackle the Megyn Kelly controversy. She's getting a lot of pushback over at NBC, her new home, because she's doing a profile on Alex Jones, who has Infowars.com, and there's a lot of people angry that she's interviewing him on her Sunday night show. But before we get to that, let me just put this to you and see if you agree or not. These guys have no idea how much support they're generating for Donald Trump with their mocking, ridiculing tone. They have no comprehension how much stronger the support for President Trump becomes when they pull stuff like this. Let's see if you agree or not. 1-800-655-MIKE, 800-655-6453. If you can't get through on our talk lines, you can always text us your comments to the MyPillow.com text number, 1-800-655-6453. Standard text messaging rates may apply. Jump aboard and join us here on this Tuesday edition of The Mike Gallagher Show.
Out of work, I'm out of my head. Out of self-respect, I'm out of breath.
There's a big controversy over the border adjustment tax. A lot of people say it's far-reaching. It extends and increases costs for items just beyond the price of a new car. In fact, the Auto Care Association estimates that this border adjustment tax would result in a $20 billion tax increase on auto parts alone, just that one category. Now, a lot of members of Congress oppose the border adjustment tax, but there is still work to be done. Please visit smarttaxpolicy.com. Become educated. This is a great resource for you to go to learn about the border adjustment tax. A lot of people say the border adjustment tax is dead on arrival in the U.S. Senate, but there are members of Congress who are still trying to stick to it and increase your taxes. Learn more about it. There are some studies that estimate for the average family to fix their car, it'll cost $1,100 a year if this passes. Learn more. Just go to smarttaxpolicy.com, smarttaxpolicy.com.
When I get to about 3/4,
when I get down to the bottom, a couple more scoops, it's time to place my order. Dinovite.com.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite for your dog this week.
We'll send you a bottle of NomoFlea free.
NomoFlea flea spray kills fleas safely with no poison.
Because it's a polypeptide protein molecule made from
vegetable oil.
Try NomoFlea.
Free this week at Dinovite.com.
Just feed your dog right. Use Dinovite. DINOVITE.com.
How's that kitchen remodel coming along?
I haven't found a reliable contractor and have no idea where to start.
What about Home Advisor?
Home what?
Home Advisor. They match you to pre-screened and top-rated pros for any kind of home project. You can even check pricing and book appointments online.
What's the catch?
No catch. Home Advisor is completely free to use.
Really? I'll check it out.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app.
Home Advisor. I'm joined by Dave from WebRoot about some security tips that we may not have heard of. Dave?
Always use your cell phone as a personal hotspot when traveling rather than connecting to Wi-Fi in that coffee shop, store, or hotel to protect against man-in-the-middle attacks where hackers can steal your sensitive information. Additionally, make sure to turn off your Bluetooth settings on your phone when not in use. Hackers can use Bluetooth settings to steal personal information.
Beyond securing personal info, how should we best back up and store data that's important to us?
It's important to use a cloud service such as OneDrive, iCloud, or Dropbox to ensure your data is backed up and available if your device becomes compromised or has a failure. The one caveat is that it is possible for ransomware to encrypt that data stored in these locations when they perform a normal sync. So to be truly secure, nothing beats a good old-fashioned backup to an external disk or DVD.
For more details, go to webroot.com/states. That's webroot.com/states, webroot.com/states.
Mike Gallagher. Dads love steaks, and we have the perfect Father's Day gift. Let me tell you about Omaha Steaks and how this Father's Day, for only $49.99, you can get the limited-time Father's Day package when you go to omahasteaks.com and enter MG in the search bar to apply the savings. You'll get 80% off Omaha Steaks Father's Day package, which includes 2 tender mild filet mignons, 2 bold beefy top sirloins, 4 crispy chicken fried steaks, 4 juicy boneless pork chops, 4 all-beef Omaha steak burgers, 4 award-winning gourmet jumbo franks, 12 ounces of all-beef meatballs, 1 pound of steakhouse fries, 4 made-from-scratch caramel apple tartlets, 1 Omaha steak seasoning packet, plus 4 additional burgers free. Get this limited-time offer, only $49.99, when you go to omahasteaks.com, type MG in the search bar, and add the Father's Day package to your cart. Don't wait. This offer ends soon. Go to omahasteaks.com, type MG in the search bar, then grab your dad and fire up the grill.
Are you a responsible person who finds yourself growing deeper and deeper in credit card debt and you're not sure how to fix the problem? Then get ready for a toll-free number that will put you on a path to financial recovery. Trinity Debt Management is a non-profit organization that will consolidate your accounts into one easy-to-manage monthly payment, put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, and reduce your interest rates by as much as 60%. You'll save thousands and become debt-free for keeps. It's not a loan. It's a smart way to relieve your stress, meet your obligations, and preserve your self-respect. If your debt has you down, we should talk. Gather up your bills and call this toll-free number for a free, no-obligation debt analysis. 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976. If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and bad tweets can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. Reputation.com can protect your good name. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system. Call right now for a free expert reputation analysis. Call 800-651-4888. 800-651-4888.
Mike Gallagher.
22 past the hour. Let's go right to it. A little bit later this hour, we're going to try to dive into the controversy over Megyn Kelly at NBC in interviewing Alex Jones from InfoWars. First, to your voice, let's start with Joe. Hey, Joe, you're first up. Welcome aboard.
Hey, Mike, how you doing? Good. Always a pleasure when you take my phone call.
Oh, my pleasure. Welcome back, Joe.
I wanted to make a comment about Chuck Schumer and all the contempt the left is making towards Trump, and I agree with you. I think it's making all of us stronger towards Trump. Here's what's more scary, Mike. They had a protest this week for Sharia law. It was protesting against Sharia law, and there was actually protesters protesting. It's like, do they want that in this country? You know,
there was an article yesterday in the Washington Post about the 1-year anniversary of the Pulse massacre. 49 people were slaughtered, and we all know why it happened. The guy was driven by Islamic extremist terrorism, and not one word, Joe, in that article appeared about Islamic terrorism. The woman who wrote the article talking about the memorial service for the 49 victims. If I were a family member of somebody who was massacred by an Islamic terrorist and the Washington Post failed to even mention it, I would be livid. You know, so angry. A lot of the Sandy Hook families are angry about this Megyn Kelly interview with Alex Jones. And it seems to me a lot of people understand that anger and that anguish. There have been families that have been targeted by people who somehow believe that Sandy Hook didn't happen, that it was a, I don't know, inside job or kids didn't really die. Ultimately, the family's heartache is being shared all over the world in that case. How is the heartache of somebody who was killed by a guy who called 911 and expressed his allegiance to ISIS as his motivation for killing all those people at the Pulse nightclub, how is that not a huge part of this whole story? 800-655-Mike. Appreciate your call, sir. Charles, you're next up. How you doing, sir?
How you doing?
Good.
Oh, Mike, I'm not supposed to tell you how you're doing.
I don't know. You can ask how you're doing all day long.
Hey, listen, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Every coin I have in my pocket says, "In God we trust" on it.
You bet.
Every bill I have says, "In God we trust" in it. Thomas Jefferson wrote in the Declaration of Independence, one of the two most sacred documents we have, all men are endowed by their Creator.
By their Creator.
Of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness.
You're right.
Thomas Jefferson didn't say the Jewish God or the Christian God. Our government is built, and everybody has different views of God. You know what I mean? And we don't have no national religion. What's with these liberals? They even if they don't believe in God, what, they don't give Christmas presents? You know, their kids don't get dressed up for Halloween, the eve of a Christian holiday.
There are just people, as you know, Charles, they're filled with hate. They're filled with hypocrisy. They're filled with contempt, and they do it in the open. That's what's so fascinating. This is not done in the shadows. This is blatant. Listening to the mocking, "Oh, are you blessed? Oh, are you blessed?" I mean, I'd love to ask the Morning Joe crew, if you did something other than, get paid to be on a morning TV show, would you consider it a blessing and a privilege and an honor to be part of a history-making presidential administration, no matter who it is? Dennis, quickly, you're next. How you doing, Dennis? Welcome aboard.
Mike, I believe in God. I know you believe in God.
Yes, sir.
There's one Bible I believe in, and the day that I have to make any kind of misstatement against God is the day I hope that He takes me home, because I love the Lord. I know you do, and really that's all that matters.
It's all that counts, Dennis. You're right. You got your priorities in line, and most of us do too. I just can't roll over and ignore an unbridled attack on people of faith. And that's something that we should believe in. That's something we should absolutely support and cherish. We should cherish and treasure the right to worship and to feel and to have the faith that God is in control. That God is in control. A lot of anger about Megyn Kelly's interview next week with Alex Jones on our NBC show. We'll tackle that and more, all coming up.
Oh, go away, little girl. Go away, little girl. Go away, little girl. Go away, little girl. It's hurting me more each minute that we.
There's a fact of life. It's, I guess, Murphy's Law. Your car is going to break down. If your car is between 3 and 12 years old, you know what's going to happen if it breaks down. It's out of warranty, and a new engine, for example, or transmission could cost over $5,000. How many times have you heard that horror story? Oh, car's out of warranty. I want to introduce you to CarShield, carshield.com. I want you to save thousands. Skip the hassle of the heartache of knowing that your car is not protected under warranty. CarShield makes the whole process so easy. You get to select your mechanic, or you take the car to the dealership to do the work. There's no checks in the mail stuff. They're going to get the mechanic paid directly. Save yourself thousands in car repairs. Get covered by the ultimate in extended vehicle service protection before it's too late. CarShield. To find out how, call 1-800-CAR-6100. Mention the code Gallagher so you'll save 10%. 800-CAR-6100, or go to carshield.com. Use the promo code Gallagher.
Mike Gallagher.
Credit drop. Recent 520.
It's hard to know what's up with your identity if you only get part of the story.
Of course, transactions, problem, account closure.
That's what happens when you rely on monitoring your credit to protect you from identity theft.
charges Vegas Tuesday.
You might detect credit changes, but you can miss threats like a cell phone account or new loan in your name, or that your personal info is for sale on the dark web.
In particular, red flag. Bad.
Why not get a more complete story to help protect your identity? At LifeLock, we detect a range of identity threats, and if you have a problem, one of our U.S.-based specialists will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock gives you more than you'll get from just monitoring your credit. Memberships start at $9.99 a month plus applicable taxes. Join now for 10% off. Go to LifeLock.com and enter promo code SMART. That's promo code SMART. LifeLock. More details.
With SRN News, I'm Patrick Foss. In the Virginia primary, Ralph Northam has won the Democratic nomination in Virginia's closely watched race for governor, defeating the insurgent challenger backed by U.S. Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. Republican Ed Gillespie has narrowly won his party's nomination in Virginia's race for governor, eking out a victory against an ardent supporter of President Trump. President Trump took his repeal and replace Obamacare message to Wisconsin Tuesday. The president spoke in Milwaukee after meeting with two families negatively affected by the existing health care law. The repeal and replace bill may not have enough votes to get through the Senate. Firefighters are battling a massive fire in an apartment high-rise in London. One side of the building appeared to be in flames. 40 fire engines and 200 firefighters have been called to the scene early Wednesday morning. The building in the Grenfell Tower in West London. People were seen waving flashlights from the top level of the building. This is SRN News.
Are you living with pain, but concerned about the side effects of drugs? I was, until I started taking 1 hour pain relief. And here's Lisa, a brave Marine who was seriously injured in Iraq.
After surviving an explosion, I was on horrible painkillers for lingering head, shoulder, and knee pain. My friend told me about 1 hour pain relief. Now I'm pain-free without the dangerous side effects.
1 hour pain relief is an all-natural extract from hops, the plant used to flavor beer.
It's safe and effective without the chemicals found in drugs, and your all-day relief starts in less than 1 hour.
Get a free 1-week trial for just a small shipping charge with no automatic shipments. Call 800-300-1014 right now or visit onehourpainrelief.com. If you suffer from pain but worry about side effects, call 800-300-1014. Stop living with pain. Call 800-300-1014 or visit onehourpainrelief.com.
Have you written a book and want to get it published? Then call Christian Faith Publishing at 800-230-1135 immediately. That's 800-230-1135. Christian Faith Publishing is looking for Christian authors of all types of books. Christian Faith Publishing reviews each and every book submitted to us, and we give you our feedback. And if we like what we read, we will get your book into bookstores and for sale on Amazon, the Apple iTunes Store, Barnes & Noble, and other outlets. We handle everything: editing, cover design, copyright protection, printing, publicity, and distribution. Whether you've written an inspirational work, a novel, a children's book, poetry, or a biography and want to get it published, you need to call Christian Faith Publishing immediately. Call 800-230-1135 now for your free author submission kit. That's 800-230-1135. To get your book published, call 800-230-1135 for your free author submission kit. That's 800-230-1135. Work with a publisher who shares your Christian values of integrity and honesty. Call Christian Faith Publishing at 800-230-1135 for your free author submission kit.
Do you have a family member who's getting older and can no longer be safely left alone? With Visiting Angels, America's Choice in Senior Home Care, your parents and older family members can continue living at home and not have to move into a nursing home. Experienced, compassionate caregivers provide assistance in hygiene, meal preparation, and light housework up to 24 hours per day at affordable rates. To restore your family's peace of mind, call Visiting Angels toll-free today at 877-374-LIVE or at visitingangels.com.
Mike shines a light on the left.
This is evil.
Fox News Channel will never restrain itself from incitement to murder and terrorism.
Responsible people don't do that.
If you get sick in America, this is what the Republicans want you to do. Die quickly.
Thank you for shining the light of moral clarity on a truly evil man. That man ought to be in jail. He's so vile, it just makes me sick.
Now, back to Mike.
I I was talking to Lou Dobbs last night after my hit with him over at Fox Business Network about a little bit about Megyn Kelly, and I was reminding him about the role that I played years ago with her career. She took me on and kind of went after me because I was joking around with Chris Wallace once on the radio about maternity leave. And Megyn had been off on maternity leave, and Chris and I were joking and kidding, as we often did, and it almost always got us in trouble. And I joked about maternity leave being a racket. So Megyn came back from maternity leave and had me on her show at Fox News at the time, and she came after me playfully. I mean, it was all actually in good fun, but she really wanted to make a point, how dare you take me on about maternity leave? Women get to take maternity leave. And it became very notable in the trajectory of her career. A lot of people wrote about it, still do. The time that she eviscerated radio host Mike Gallagher and she took him and blah, blah, blah. And she wrote about it in her book, and she was, very gracious about that exchange in her book. Of course, she left Fox News, and now she's with NBC. She has a Sunday night show. It has not performed particularly well in the ratings the first 2 weeks that she has been on. In fact, she's been beaten, I believe, both nights by reruns of 60 Minutes on CBS. So it's not exactly a very auspicious beginning. Maybe it'll build, it'll grow. I've got any kind of animus towards her. I mean, known her for a long time. A lot of people very angry with Megyn over the way she went after Donald Trump in the debates. And now she's got this new gig at NBC, and she's got a Sunday night show, and on next Sunday night's show, she's going to interview Alex Jones of Infowars.com. And apparently families of the Sandy Hook school shooting victims are very angry that he's going to be featured on her show. In fact, the family of one of the teachers who was killed, along with the 20 children, posted an open letter to Megyn Kelly on Facebook. The family of Vicky Soto, who was one of the teachers killed, posted this message. Alex Jones and his followers have done nothing but make our lives a living hell for the past 4.5 years. Another mom of a little girl who was killed, Nelba Marquez Green, tweeted a picture of her daughter and wrote, "Here you go, Megyn Kelly. Her name is Anna Grace Marquez Green. Say her name, stare at this, and tell me it's worth it." So the families are livid at this interview. And it's interesting because, you see convicted killers interviewed on TV all the time. Charles Manson has given interviews, and all serial killers have been interviewed, and there seems to be less outrage over that than Alex Jones, who has this huge following at Infowars.com. Dan Abrams was on ABC last night. Of course, he's a legal analyst and founder of Mediaite, and he spoke out about this controversy and what he thought of it.
The notion that the answer to that is to ignore him is absurd. I mean, what journalists do every day is to take someone like that, who is influential and who is controversial, and to ask hard questions. We haven't even seen the interview yet. If she does a softball interview, let's criticize her. But until then, the notion that NBC shouldn't even put him on the air. I've interviewed murderers before. So has every major network. And we don't get this kind of backlash.
I agree completely with his assessment. And I don't want any of the families of Sandy Hook to have additional pain. Unfortunately, what they're living through and what they've experienced will be part of their lives forever. And anytime anybody writes a book or gives an interview or says something, now, as I understand it, some of these families have been literally harassed. And there are some of these conspiracy theorists who have gone to these families' homes, and there are family members who have had to move to try to avoid conspiracy theorists who challenge them. And that, of course, is reprehensible. That's disgusting. That's vile. I have always had a belief, and I'm not a big conspiracy theorist person. I don't agree that with the theory that people have that 9/11 didn't happen, or it was an inside job, or there were explosives, all that stuff. I just don't agree with it at all. And I certainly don't agree that Sandy Hook was any kind of hoax or conspiracy. But I have always defended the right for people to express their skepticism, express their cynicism, express their doubts, all they want. You get to do that in America. You get to say, I don't think there was a moon landing. I think it happened in a desert in Arizona. You're allowed to say that. You're allowed to feel that way. And Alex Jones has a huge following. There are plenty of people who like his brand of broadcasting. And so Dan Abrams has it right to try to keep it off the air and to not allow him to even be interviewed is pretty ridiculous. 1-800-655-MIKE. 800-655-6453. Maybe you see it a different way. Maybe you don't think that Megyn Kelly ought to have the right to interview him on her show. Seems peculiar to me that anybody would make that kind of a demand, especially when we're seeing, for example, the nonsensical defense of Kathy Griffin holding up a beheaded image of a sitting president. Jim, we'll start with you. Hey, Jim, welcome aboard.
How are you, Mike?
Good, Jim.
Show.
Thank you.
Just wanted to interject one thing. I am a fan of Alex Jones. However, I don't agree with everything that he says, but I agree with what you said. And as far as labeling him a conspiracy theorist, with all this fake news that's going on, to me, it's almost the same as the regular, like CNN and the other stuff.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Oh, I do. I mean, I saw a video clip of Alex last night denying that he's ever said that there weren't murdered children at Sandy Hook. He said something about having been a contrarian in the past, and he's looked at every side of the issue. Listen, he's been very successful. He's based in Austin. He's got a following, and to say that a guy with that kind of following and profile shouldn't be interviewed on a TV show like Megyn Kelly's is pretty ridiculous. I appreciate it, sir. Thanks for your kind words. One open line, 800-655-MIKE. Let's see what others think. Here is Morgan. Hey, Morgan, you're next. How are you today?
Mike, how's it going?
Good.
Hey, I'm a huge Alex Jones fan.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be a brainwashed person until, I started listening to him. I used to have very liberal values. I started listening to him. Now I'm pretty conservative.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing about Alex Jones. He never said that Sandy Hook was a conspiracy. All he did was that he had people on his show that he interviewed that did challenge this story.
Right.
And I spoke to Wolfgang Halbig myself. He's a really nice guy. And all he was doing was asking certain questions about how this crisis was handled.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about the families getting threatened? He's been threatened big time. Wolfgang Halbig, you don't hear from him anymore.
Yeah.
He's out of there. So that's all I'm saying about Alex Jones.
I'm a big believer in supporting your right to listen to who you want to listen to, defending Alex or any Howard or any broadcaster who might do it a lot differently than I happen to do. That doesn't mean they don't get to be heard, and that doesn't mean I'm not going to understand the success that many of them have had with a huge following. And obviously, Megyn Kelly sees, reason to profile somebody like Alex who has this big following, and it's the idea that NBC is right now considering pulling. And incidentally, Alex doesn't want it to be aired because he doesn't like Megyn Kelly. He sat down, which is typical Alex Jones. I mean, he's a piece of work. He is a character. And he now is saying, I saw on this video last night that he doesn't want her to air it, and she's I don't know what he called her, a harlot or something. I don't know what he said. He's something, but that's how Alex. He's real bombastic and colorful, and he doesn't want. Now he's saying he wishes they wouldn't air the interview either because he thinks it's not going to be a very flattering profile of him. Oh, wow, that's a big mystery. That was a shock. 800-655-MIKE, 17 before the hour. A lot more coming up. Busy edition of the Mike Gallagher Show on a big breaking news day with Jeff Sessions testifying today before the Senate Intelligence Committee on the Russian probe and the firing of Jim Comey and a lot more. We never have a shortage of things to talk about on this show, do we? It was so fun for me the other day when I went to New Orleans with a group of listeners who had made donations to the National World War II Museum. And they were all just raving about the different products that I tell you about and the services that I recommend. Because I take this very seriously. When I recommend a product like Relief Factor and I tell you that I take it and I use it and it works, every word is 100% true. That is the fact of the matter. I am thrilled with the results that I've gotten from Relief Factor. It is a great product. I take a packet in the morning, a packet in the evening, and it has completely eliminated my lower back pain that I've been suffering from. People say this to me all the time that it really does work. Give it a try. Go to relieffactor.com. You'll see how this product goes to work on the inflammation that causes your back pain, your leg pain, your neck pain, pain from working out too much at the gym, just normal aches and pains of life. Give it a try. Take the 3-week quick start. For $19.95, you could try Relief Factor, see if it's for you or not. Go to relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com, or call 800-500-8384, 1-800-500-8384. Tell them Mike Gallagher told you to call Relief Factor.
Mike Gallagher.
According to the American Heart Association, Americans age 40 and over produce only 50% as much nitric oxide as they did at age 20. But a 2016 double-blind placebo-controlled study suggests that effective nitric oxide supplementation may lower blood pressure in patients with prehypertension. Neo 40 is the revolutionary tablet that melts in your mouth, tastes great, and may immediately help your body produce nitric oxide to support healthy circulation and blood pressure levels. Try Neo 40 today. Get a 30-day supply free. It comes with your first order and has a money-back guarantee. Also receive free nitric oxide test strips to see the results in your own body and free shipping on your entire order. You'll love the results, guaranteed, or you get your money back. Call 800-901-4391. That's 800-901-4391. Or visit Mike40.com. That's Mike40.com. If you ask the customers of Vision Computers what they like best about Vision, you'll hear all kinds of accolades about Vision's 15-second average hold time for tech support and the 3-year warranty on both parts and labor on all Vision computers made, laptops and desktops. You'll also hear Vision Computers owners boast about how little you have to do to get your computer up and running once you've purchased it, because unlike those who buy from other companies, you won't be saddled with endless Windows updates to install and junk software that the manufacturers took upon itself to load into your computer. At Vision Computers, you take your computer out of the box and it works. They've been in business for 25 years and they know what you want. Just check out the great reviews on Google. Here's another benefit. When you buy from Vision Computers, they'll monitor your computer and resolve potential problems automatically free for the first year. Call 877-9VISION. That's 877-9VISION. Or online at visioncomputers.com.
Your new landscaping looks amazing. Who did you use?
I found a great local pro on HomeAdvisor.
Home what?
HomeAdvisor.com. It's really easy to use. I just put in what I need and then they connect me with background check pros who can help.
Did you find your painter there too?
Yep, I use HomeAdvisor for everything.
How much does it cost?
It's free. And check it out. I can even book an appointment online.
That's so easy. How did I not know about HomeAdvisor?
Go to HomeAdvisor.com now or download the free app.
HomeAdvisor. A few years ago, my wife and I went shopping for amazing quality luxury bedding we could actually afford. And what did we find? Nothing. Hi, I'm Scott Tannen. Missy and I started Boll & Branch because we want you to be able to afford the best bedding in the world. By cutting out the middlemen and only selling online at bollandbranch.com, our award-winning sheets cost less than half of designer brands and are twice the quality. Every set is crafted from 100% organic cotton. They get softer and softer over time. That's why we have thousands of 5-star reviews, and even 3 U.S. presidents have Boll & Branch sheets. There's no risk. Try them for 30 nights. If you don't love them, send them back for a full refund. Go to bollandbranch.com today for $50 off your first set of sheets, plus free shipping when you use promo code CALM. That's $50 off plus free shipping right now at bowlandbranch.com. Promo code CALM. bowlandbranch.com spelled BOLL and branch.com. Promo code CALM.
Breaking now on the Mike Gallagher Show.
Otto Warmbier, the college student who was arrested, tried, and imprisoned in North Korea, has been released, but sad news about this, he is reportedly in a coma. And in fact, there are sources saying he's been in a coma for almost a year. News reports suggest that the 22-year-old from Cincinnati, Ohio, got botulism soon after his trial, was given a sleeping pill from which he never woke up. In fact, former New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson, who has been working for Warmbier's release, said Warmbier has been in a coma for more than a year. So a bittersweet homecoming. Family saying that they want their privacy. He should be home tonight, but is evidently in a coma from his incarceration during his time in North Korea. 10 minutes before the hour, portions of our show brought to you by Hillsdale College. This is your final week to register for the free introduction to the Constitution course from Hillsdale. Go now to MikeForHillsdale.com. All the lessons are under 15 minutes long. You got to see this 2-minute trailer. This is your final week to register, so please go to this site, MikeForHillsdale.com, MikeForHillsdale.com. Amy texted me that Alex Jones did not call Megyn Kelly a harlot. He called her actually a gorgon, which of course is one of the Greek mythology women. That means gorgon means a fierce, frightening, or repulsive woman. This Medusa with the snakes on the head that's how Alex referred to Megyn Kelly last night, which of course that's because of course he did. Of course he did. It's Alex. John, you're up on the Mike Gallagher Show 9 minutes before the hour. How you doing, John?
Well, I'm doing very well, and I really enjoy hearing the freedom of speech issues discussed.
Good.
Because we've always, at least I've always been taught that, I may disagree with what you say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it.
Exactly.
There's no need to protect the speech of people we agree with. We have to protect the speech of those we don't agree with. But what's driving me crazy, though, is that some of these clowns will get up and do something ridiculous, like that Kathy holding
Kathy Griffin. Yep.
But then by replaying it, repeating it on more intelligent radio and television stations, it literally quadruples their coverage.
Sure.
Because my choice is to turn off CNN. I haven't watched CNN in so long I can't even remember.
Sure.
And but their programming gets more coverage on conservative radio and television than it does.
Yeah, I know. I get it, and it's a dilemma that all of us sort of face because you say, well, do I mention this? Do I not mention this? Do we cover this? And my rule is generally I want to talk about what people are talking about all over the country. And we had this conversation last week about my disgust, and I'm just over listening and watching the nonstop hatred for President Trump day in and day out, and I just was on the verge of saying I'm going to disconnect. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to cover it. I'm not going to engage in it anymore. And most of you many of you called and wrote, and you said, no, we want you to. We don't want to do it, but we want you to, so we know what's out there and we know what we're up against. But I get you. I get your point. Believe me, that's something that we struggle with and we debate internally with my team every single day that we do this show. Appreciate your call, sir, very much. Here's Jim. Hey, Jim, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Just the reverse of the Kathy Griffin is the, repeating the Alex Jones, Sandy Hook thing. It's the same thing, but on the other side. He says it gets repeated. His ploy about, not wanting the NBC to air his interview is just a sick thing for him to try and promote it even more. You have to agree with that.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what his motivation is. I mean, I
don't know. But come on.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he agreed to sit down with her. Apparently, I heard him say last night that she was at his studios or his offices or whatever from 9 in the morning to 11:30 at night. And the reason I think he's upset, at least as he expresses it, is that he claims that Megyn Kelly promised that the Sandy Hook controversy would not be a focal point of the profile, and then it became so, and that's what he's upset about. So I don't know. I guess who knows? I mean, if Alex Jones, if the segment gets her a lot of ratings Sunday night, first of all, that's her goal, and secondly, it'll be the first time that she got great ratings because she has not the first 2 weeks out. If you're getting beat, by CBS, reruns of 60 Minutes on CBS, you're not off to a great start. This portion of our show brought to you by MyPillow.com. Had a chance today to catch up with our pal Mike Lindell, who is just a story that is, it's a success story unlike anything I've ever seen. A guy who was at rock bottom and pulled his way back up, and he invented this pillow that is the best pillow I've ever slept on in my life. I'm sort of I'm not even an advocate. I'm like I don't know, what's the right word to use? I'm a crusader for getting a good night's sleep on the pillow that I love so much, MyPillow.com. And the Mike 4-pack special continues, 50% off your order. You can order 4 of these pillows. Great gifts for people in your family, your loved ones, friends, family. The secret, of course, is the patented fill that was invented by Mike Lindell. This pillow never goes flat during the night. It stays cool. You can throw it in the washer and the dryer to keep it free from the allergens and the dust mites. It's just a great pillow, and it's a great product. There's doggy beds. Rory, who's doing great, my puggle, she's recovering nicely from her cataract surgery and looking good, feeling good. She's on her own little doggy bed from MyPillow. They have those too. Just go to MyPillow.com to place your order. Make sure you use the promo code MikeG. MyPillow.com, promo code MikeG, or call them 800-928-6034, promo code MikeG. As always, thanks to Eric, Lance, Matt, Peter, the whole team, and thank you for spending part of your day with us. Let's do it again tomorrow, shall we? Get out there, fight the good fight. I'm Mike Gallagher. God bless America. Identity theft, it's so important that you are protected. Has a pop-up ever appeared on your computer screen? You see this scary virus alert, a warning, probably the work of a tech support scammer. They want you to call their toll-free number in a moment of panic. Then they're going to demand payment for fake repairs to trick you into giving them remote access to your computer. This is the kind of sophisticated way identity thieves are operating. You need LifeLock. You got to be protected against identity theft. LifeLock is scanning hundreds of millions of transactions each second. If they detect your information, they'll send you an alert. That's happened with me, and man, is that a gratifying feeling to know that you get, that they're on it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock is the best identity theft protection available. Membership starts at $9.99 a month plus applicable taxes. I urge you to go to LifeLock.com. Go to LifeLock.com or call 1-800-LifeLock. Be sure to use the promo code Gallagher. That's Gallagher for 10% off your LifeLock Ultimate Plus membership. Visit LifeLock.com. Save 10% now.
I was fed up with the overwhelming liberal bias in public schools, so I decided to homeschool my kids. The problem was finding a curriculum that represented the values I grew up with. Things like faith, family, patriotism, and the truth about our country's history. Then I checked out BJU Press. BJU Press has everything our homeschool needs, and with the right values. Go to bjupresshomeschool.com and see for yourself. You'll feel good about how you homeschool.
How's that kitchen remodel coming along?
I haven't found a reliable contractor and have no idea where to start.
What about Home Advisor?
Home what?
Home Advisor. They match you to pre-screened and top-rated pros for any kind of home project. You can even check pricing and book appointments online.
What's the catch?
No catch. Home Advisor is completely free to use.
Really? I'll check it out.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app.
Home Advisor. Mike Gallagher.
If you're over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days, I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. A free book to help you maximize your retirement income from television host and three-time author Josh Melberg has been released. This book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now because we are about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known secrets we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity. Call 800-725-1616 now and you'll receive a free copy of Josh Melberg's book, Next Gen Annuity Strategies Revealed. As a bonus, we'll also send you a copy of The Number 1 Mistakes Retirees Are Making with Their Investments Today and a free DVD on how you can get up to 33% more income in retirement. Call 800-725-1616. That's 800-725-1616. Employees of J.D. Melberg Financial have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer.
24/7 WCAB is serving the foothills of the Carolinas. Learn more about us at www.wcab59.com.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Patrick Foss. A defiant Attorney General Jeff Sessions is defending himself against allegations that he colluded with the Russians.
Sessions calling such suggestions an appalling and detestable lie and vowing to defend his honor against what he called scurrilous allegations.
These false attacks, the innuendos, the leaks, you can be sure, will not intimidate me.
As for his decision to recuse himself from the investigation,
Department employees should not participate in investigations of a campaign if they served as a campaign advisor.
Sessions also defended his statement during confirmation hearings that he hadn't met with Russians, suggesting he thought the question dealt only with his role in the Trump transition team.
That is White House correspondent Wally Hines reporting. Testifying before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson says the U.S.-Russia relationship is at an all-time low.
We've got issues with harassment of our embassy employees in Moscow. We have a list of things. They have a list of things. I don't want to suggest to you this is some kind of a bartering deal. It's more, let's start working on some of the smalls and see if we can solve them.
Tillerson was non-committal about a package of new Russia sanctions. An Army medic who saved the lives of 10 soldiers during a battle in Vietnam will be the first person awarded the Medal of Honor by President Trump.
They're crediting me with saving 10 Americans and 1 Vietnamese. I wasn't counting, okay? I was just doing what I had to do.
Medal of Honor recipient James McLuhan.
I will be his first Medal of Honor recipient. Yes, President Donald Trump will be putting that on me for the first time in his experience of doing such a thing. And so that's pretty special.
71-year-old from Michigan repeatedly braved enemy gunfire to rescue his men. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. I've been telling you about Relief Factor for about 6 months now. I've been using Relief Factor for a lot longer than that. If you're struggling with ongoing back or neck pain, shoulder, hip, knee pain, general muscle aches and pain, do what I did. Go to ReliefFactor.com, order their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. Try it for 3 weeks, $19.95. ReliefFactor.com. That's ReliefFactor.com or call toll-free 800-500-8384, 800-500-8384.
Ransomware is software that can infiltrate your business through email, enabling cyber criminals to hijack sensitive information as ransom for your own data's release. Leveraging Barracuda email security with advanced threat detection can stop a ransomware attack in its tracks. As an added measure, Barracuda Backup allows you to recover your data without having to surrender to extortion. Crime doesn't pay when you protect your business data with Barracuda. Go to barracuda.com/ransomware to learn more.
President Trump is sounding off on his travel ban's latest legal defeat.
In a Tuesday morning tweet, the president expressed his unhappiness with this week's federal appeals court ruling that blocks his revised travel ban. He wrote on Twitter, "The Ninth Circuit did it again." The president said the ruling comes at such a dangerous time in the history of our country. He ended his message with the letters SC, in a likely reference to the Supreme Court.
White House correspondent Greg Cluxton. Interior Secretary Ron Zinke's recommendation to downsize a vast new national monument in Utah is creating optimism for opponents of 26 other monuments under review. It's also fueling fear among conservation groups that worry Zinke will propose shrinking or rescinding other sites in his final report due in late August. Conservation groups that were stung by the recommendation are trying to rally public support to fully preserve the monuments. This is townhall.com. Inflation at the wholesale level stayed unchanged in May as food and energy prices slept.
The Labor Department says its producer price index was flat in May after a 0.5% monthly gain in April. Over the past 12 months, producer prices have risen 2.4%, with rising gasoline and natural gas costs being key factors. But energy and food prices weakened in May. Core inflation at the wholesale level fell 0.1% in May, but rose 2.1% over 12 months.
Correspondent Jeremy House reporting. A judge won't throw out a lawsuit from a powerful liquor lobby that wants a piece of Nevada's new recreational marijuana industry. A group of independent liquor wholesalers say the ballot measure that voters approved last November legalizing recreational pot makes it clear they're the only ones that can distribute the product for retail sales scheduled to begin July 1st. The judge refused. He left in place an order he issued May 30th that blocks any licensing until he holds a day-long hearing next Monday. More of these stories at townhall.com. I'm Patrick Foss.
Hi, Tom Green with a check on your weather going into Wednesday. Scattered thunderstorms, a low around 66, a high around 90 with scattered showers and thunderstorms, and a low 66 Wednesday night. For Thursday, partly cloudy, scattered showers, a high 88, and Friday, scattered showers and a high 88. We thank you for tuning to us for the latest in news, sports, and weather. Join Jim Bishop at 6:05 for the wake-up call, morning call-around report, and great gospel music. Lou Gillen midday. I'll be in the afternoon with the Braves baseball here on AM 590 WCAB Rutherford.
America's #1 show on pop culture and politics. This is the Michael Medved Show.
And another great day in this greatest nation on God's green earth. Another great day of drama and confrontation in Washington, D.C. The Attorney General of the United States, America's chief law enforcement officer, is testifying right now before the Senate Intelligence Committee, making a strong denial that he did anything improper in meeting with Russian officials during the Trump campaign. Is that believable? Of course it's believable. Should Jeff Sessions be in a world of trouble or a world of hurt or a world of difficulty? And should President Trump fire the special counsel, who is also sometimes referred to as a special prosecutor, Bob Mueller, the former head of the FBI? A number of prominent conservatives, including Newt Gingrich and Trent Franks, the congressman from Arizona. Trent Franks, to be fair, has not said that Trump should fire him. He has said that the investigation by Mueller is hopelessly biased because he's been hiring a lot of personal friends of Jim Comey. He himself is a personal friend of Jim Comey, reportedly or reputedly. Does that mean the investigation simply cannot proceed? We'll ask a member of the Republican Party leadership and also ask about what the Republicans in the House are doing to get on with the nation's business in the midst of all the charges and counter charges. And then alarming reports of various epidemics around the world. I think some of those reports may be nonsensical, but we will get to that as well. First, Jeff Sessions, who just began his testimony, made a very strong denial that anything improper or inappropriate occurred during his meeting with the Russian ambassador, Sergei Kislyak.
Now let me address some issues directly. I did not have any private meetings, nor do I recall any conversations with any Russian officials at the Mayflower Hotel. I did not attend any meetings at that event separate. Prior to the speech attended by the president today, I attended a reception with my staff that included at least 24 people and President Trump. though I do recall several conversations that I had during that pre-speech reception. I do not have any recollection of meeting or talking to the Russian ambassador or any other Russian officials. If any brief interaction occurred in passing with the Russian ambassador during that reception, I do not remember it. After the speech, I was interviewed by the news media. There was an area for that in a different room, and then I left the hotel.
Okay, basically, this is entirely credible, and I think that Attorney General Sessions is right in this. I do want to bring you back to the time of his hearing. I defended Jeff Sessions, and I still do. I don't think that Jeff Sessions was seriously compromised by the fact that as a United States Senator, and he was a senior United States Senator, in addition to being an advisor to the Trump campaign, as a United States Senator, it's not ridiculous to think that he would have encounters or interaction with the Russian ambassador. Russia is one of the most powerful countries in the world. This was hardly a secret. It wasn't behind closed doors. And I think that he basically he did not specifically misinform or testify incorrectly. What he did is he made a distinction in his own mind between his work as an advisor to the Trump campaign and his work as a U.S. Senator, and then acknowledged the mistake and did recuse himself. He says, however, very combatively in the testimony that he just gave, he's just finished his opening statement, that he will not be intimidated by some of the attacks against him. And he said that when he recused himself, he did not recuse himself from defending his honor. Now, a lot of this testimony today involves the potential that he will remember things differently from James Comey. And if that comes up in the testimony under questioning, we will go to that. We also have a commentary from the opening statement by Attorney General Sessions, in which his general posture becomes clear.
I recuse myself not because of any asserted wrongdoing or any belief that I may have been involved in any wrongdoing in the campaign, but because a Department of Justice regulation, 28 CFR 45.2, I felt required it. That regulation states in effect that department employees should not participate in investigations of a campaign if they served as a campaign advisor. So the scope of my recusal, however, does not and cannot interfere with my ability to oversee the Department of Justice, including the FBI, which has an $8 billion budget and 35,000 employees. I presented to the President my concerns and those of Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein about the ongoing leadership issues at the FBI, as stated in my letter recommending the removal of Mr. Comey, along with the Deputy Attorney General's memorandum on that issue.
Okay, and that memorandum, to be clear, with the Deputy Attorney General who had just taken his post and after his confirmation, his memorandum was very critical of James Comey. But it was critical of James Comey not for anything having to do with this investigation of Russian wrongdoing. It was critical of James Comey for his handling of the Hillary Clinton mess. And it was critical of Comey not for being too easy on Hillary Clinton. It was critical of Comey for speaking out against her at all, which wasn't really his role, either to recommend prosecution or not prosecution, to say that she had behaved well or had not behaved well. And when you think about it, it truly is extraordinary. Generally, we don't appoint an FBI director to be a judge, jury, and prosecutor, or any of the above. Bill O'Reilly has just sent out a tweet that says Attorney General Sessions says he had no third meeting with Russians at the Mayflower Hotel, as James Comey asserted. Someone is not telling the truth. I'm not sure that what Sessions just testified comes to the question of telling the truth, because I think that what he's talking about is an area, one of those gray areas where, didn't he say that he had been passing through the Mayflower Hotel, but that they did not have a private meeting? What did Comey actually testify? We'll go back and we'll look at Comey's actual testimony. Is all of this helpful to those of us, and I think that's the great majority of Americans, who would love to put this entire matter of investigations and charges and countercharges and the back and the forth over what happened during the campaign, who want to put that behind us? Who, by the way, benefits from this continued apocalyptic heavy breathing about the end of the world? And this, by the way, goes to this idea of firing Bob Mueller. The only people who think that's a good idea are people in media. And yes, that includes you, Newt Gingrich, because I know his wife has been appointed as our ambassador to the Vatican, but Newt Gingrich in his current role is currently in media. In other words, there is a great deal to be said for boosting ratings at a time of national crisis where everything is just, oh, this has never happened before, and oh, this is such a horrible thing. Look, if President Trump actually did go forward and fire Bob Mueller, the special counsel who was appointed by his own deputy attorney general, number one, that widely respected, universally accredited and confirmed deputy attorney general Rod Rosenstein would resign. He spoke about this. He was asked about it. And he clearly does not believe it would be right or even legal for the president to fire Bob Mueller without cause. And when without cause, it's not basically your opinion. You have to have some indication that he is pursuing the investigation illegitimately. And so who would gain from this? Would the president gain? Of course not. Would Democrats gain? Not really. Who would gain? Media. Those of us who get very excited and hype up every imaginable crisis and confrontation for a living because it's dramatic. Meanwhile, the work of Congress must continue. How does that happen? And will anyone pay some attention to the horrible news, frankly, about the budget deficit for the month of May? It's just out. We'll talk about that with one of the Republican leaders of Congress, the always articulate and informative Steve Scalise of Louisiana. Coming right up on the Medved Show.
Now, Jim Bishop, AM 590, WCAB.
My wife Diane and I have lived in the same home for 21 years now, and one of the ways that we have brought it back to life and made rooms look fresh and different and better is with blinds from Blinds.com. They can deliver stylish, easy-to-install shades that we're proud to show off to our overnight guests in our guest room. My wife loved working with one of their professional design consultants to get recommendations for every room, and get this, the online design consultation is entirely free. They'll even send you free samples, and every order gets free shipping, too, and their prices are unbeatable. Our experience is so positive that our daughter has used them for her condo, our son and daughter-in-law for their home. And if you accidentally mismeasure or you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. Now through June 21st, get 20% off site-wide at Blinds.com when you use the promo code Medved. Whether it's one room or your whole home, just go to Blinds.com and use the promo code Medved for 20% off your entire order. Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions apply. For some of us, falling asleep at night can be as hard as the workday you just put in, but it doesn't have to be that way. You don't need to spend a fortune to get the rest that you need. Great sleep starts with the right sheets, and they can be more affordable than you think. That's what you get with Boll & Branch. What makes Boll & Branch unique is that each sheet is crafted from 100% organic cotton. These sheets feel amazing. You'll love these sheets. Try them for 30 nights. If you're not impressed, return them for a full, complete refund. Anybody who sleeps on Boll & Branch sheets loves them. That's why why they have thousands of 5-star reviews. The New York Times, Forbes, and the Wall Street Journal rave about Boll & Branch, and even 3 U.S. presidents have Boll & Branch sheets. Go to bollandbranch.com today, and you'll get $50 off your first set of sheets, plus free shipping when you go to bollandbranch.com. Use the promo code MEDVED. That's $50 off, plus free shipping right now at bollandbranch.com. That's spelled B-O-L-L and branch.com, promo code MEDVED. bollandbranch.com, promo code MEDVED.
WCAB, Rutherfordton.
Recent 520.
It's hard to know what's up with your identity if you only get part of the story.
Of course, transactions, problem, account closure.
That's what happens when you rely on monitoring your credit to protect you from identity theft.
Charges, Vegas, Tuesday.
You might detect credit changes, but you can miss threats like a cell phone account or new loan in your name, or that your personal info is for sale on the dark web.
In particular, red flag. Bad.
Why not get a more complete story to help protect your identity? At LifeLock, we detect a range of identity threats, and if you have a problem, one of our U.S.-based specialists will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock gives you more than you'll get from just monitoring your credit. Memberships start at $9.99 a month plus applicable taxes. Join now for 10% off. Go to LifeLock.com and enter promo code SMART. That's promo code SMART. LifeLock. More detection, more protection.
Sooner or later, your vehicle will break down. If you're lucky, it'll be covered under the manufacturer's warranty. After the warranty expires, something like a new engine or new transmission could cost over $5,000. Even a simple repair to a sensor can cost over $1,000. That's why getting extended coverage from CarShield.com is a good idea. CarShield makes the whole process easy. You select your favorite mechanic or get the work done at the dealership. There's no checks in the mail stuff or waiting for a reimbursement. CarShield gets the mechanic paid directly. CarShield's administrators even provide 24/7 roadside assistance and a rental car while yours is in the shop. If your car is 3 to 12 years old, it doesn't mean you have to pay high repair bills. Get the ultimate protection against repair cost before it's too late. Call 800-CAR-6100 and mention code MEDVED or visit carshield.com and use code MEDVED to save 10%. That's carshield.com, code MEDVED. A deductible may apply.
"21 minutes after the hour on the Michael Medved Show. Jeff Sessions testifying today before the Senate Committee on Intelligence and testifying just asked, we will get to that, about Jim Comey and his one of his controversial meetings with President Trump, where President Trump asked Jeff Sessions to step out of the room and to leave the room before the meeting actually occurred. We will get to that, but while all that is going on, the work of the Republic continues. And one of the people doing that work is Steve Scalise, the representative from Louisiana. He is the House Whip, Majority Whip. He's the number 3 man in the Republican hierarchy in the House of Representatives. Representative Scalise, always great to speak with you.
Great to be back with you, Michael.
And I know that while so much of the press and the public are preoccupied by what's going on the other end of Capitol Hill right now with the Senate committee, your work as a member of the House has to continue. And you must be concerned, as I am, with one of the most ignored stories of today, which is a big increase in the budget deficit that is being reported for the month of May, up to $88 billion from $53 billion a year earlier. What's going on?
Well, as you've seen over the last few years, the Obama administration created this massive regulatory state. It made it really hard to get our economy moving again. And so one of the things we've been doing is working on a few things to focus on the problem of getting the economy moving again. How do you get it back on track? And, healthcare is a big part of that, repealing Obamacare, replacing it with reforms that actually lower costs, get the government out of the way. But then tax reform, which is the next thing that we're working on to lower our overall rates, cut tax rates for families, for businesses, make the code simpler, allow people to do their own taxes on a postcard, get rid of the death tax. That's something that'll help get the economy moving again. You want to erase the deficit, you want to bring the deficit down and get to a balanced federal budget. The best thing you can do is not only control spending, but you have to get the economy moving again. And so that's what we've been working with President Trump on. You've seen him do a lot on the regulatory state to tell federal agencies, stop creating these radical regulations, and he's unraveled a lot of them. But until you cut tax rates, until you get some of these big impediments like Obamacare out of the way, that's what's holding our economy back, and we're focused on getting those things out of the way so that we can actually let people control our lives again, not having the government try to control your life, and then get the economy moving.
What's the plan right now? I mean, you've already done your job, the House of Representatives, in repealing and replacing Obamacare. The bill is now over at the Senate, where they obviously are going to try to change it, and then it comes back to you. But are you going to let the Senate go first in terms of taxes, or you have to go first, don't you?
No, we'll have to go first on tax reform, and we've actually been working on that already. Chairman Kevin Brady from Texas, is the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee. He's already been working closely with the Speaker, the Majority Leader McCarthy, myself, and President Trump and his team to make sure that we're as close to being on the same page as possible, because we want to pass a bill that not just passes the House, but ultimately passes the Senate and gets signed into law by President Trump. And President Trump is very, very focused, by the way, on cutting taxes, on doing tax reform. And again, like you said at the beginning, the media seems to be infatuated with all of these distractions and these sideshows, and what about Russia and Comey and the latest kind of distraction. We're focused intently on getting the economy moving again, on cutting taxes, on creating jobs, and this president is too. So we're working on putting together the coalition to pass tax reform because of the nature of budget reconciliation, meaning a bill that can pass the Senate with 51 votes instead of 60. We can only have one of those budget reconciliation bills moving at a time. Right now, the Obamacare repeal and replace is that bill, and until we get that bill moved through the House and Senate and on the President's desk, we can't formally start moving a tax reform bill, but we've already been doing the work to put together the coalition and build a consensus on that bill.
Let me see if I've got this right, because I think I do, but I'm not sure. In terms of the Trump budget that I know that you're working on, and this increase in the deficit, and this, of course, is all budgeting that's left over from the Obama administration.
Yeah.
With this $88 billion increase in the deficit, that all can be brought into balance, can't it, according to the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, if you actually get this 3% growth rate that we have had in this country as recently as 2005. Isn't that the whole name of the game, getting the economy to grow?
Oh, Michael, that is the key to not only creating jobs in America, but, like you said, not only tackling the deficit, getting back to a balanced federal budget. You've got to have better growth than what you had during the Obama years. People had just gotten accustomed under Obama every single quarter, we had less than 2% growth. That's embarrassing. It's anemic. But it was literally created through all of these radical policies where the president went after every industry in America. It was the banking industry with Dodd-Frank. It was the healthcare industry with Obamacare. It was the oil and gas industry. And so you wonder why we didn't have the kind of growth. If you go to Reagan-era growth, which is very achievable. Reagan did tax cuts in '86. We want to do tax cuts. You will get over 3% growth. And the difference between the two is tremendous in terms of how much new money that brings into the federal treasury. And, we're controlling spending, but if you don't have that kind of growth, you're not going to be able to balance the budget. But if you get growth through the policies we're talking about, it will unleash this economic engine like nothing we've seen before, even better than what we saw in the 90s.
And while everybody was so obsessed with James Comey, you over on the House side had a tremendous victory, basically repealing the most obnoxious elements of Dodd-Frank. Explain how that's going to make life better for every single American.
You talk about an untold story. And Comey's over there admitting that he leaked classified information. He admitted that Trump wasn't even under investigation. And of course, all the headlines are about some kind of possible lies. But Trump never even lied about anything. It was just Comey just being angry that he was fired. And so he's leaking information to try to get a political outcome on a special counsel. In the meantime, we actually passed the the Financial Choice Act, which is a bill that guts Dodd-Frank. And, and like you mentioned, I mean, people that have been involved in community banking for the last 7 years know that Dodd-Frank has destroyed our community banking system. And what's more importantly, it's made it very, very difficult and much more expensive for first-time home buyers to get a home loan. It's made it difficult and more expensive for small businesses to get that startup loan or a loan to grow their small business. And it was all sold as, let's go stick it to the big banks on Wall Street. The thing is about Dodd-Frank, it actually enshrined too big to fail. It enshrined the era of bailouts, and it crushed our community banks with mountains of regulations. So our bill guts all of those regulations, gets back to traditional bank regulations, and getting out of the way of our small community banks who didn't do anything wrong in the 2008 meltdown. And so we're losing a community bank a day right now, Michael, because of the regulations of Dodd-Frank. And it's killing our small businesses and first-time home buyers. We reversed that with a strong vote on the House floor last week. I hope the Senate takes it up and passes it.
Let us second that hope. That's Congressman Steve Scalise of the House Republican leadership. So what next in terms of an agenda of reform, and what will the Sessions testimony mean to the ongoing circus in Washington, D.C.? We'll get to that in your calls coming up.
Get the first weather forecast of the day, sports, and today's local news on your favorite wake-up call. Weekday mornings with Bishop, Jim Bishop, on WCAB.
WCAB, Rutherfordton.
For two inmates who somehow got through a gate inside a prison bus, killed two guards, and got away. The two men overpowered and disarmed the guards. 33 inmates were being driven between prisons. One of them fatally shot both guards, and then they jumped out of the bus and carjacked a driver who happened to pull up behind them on a rural highway. Republican Ed Gillespie has nearly won his party's nomination in Virginia's race for governor. Gillespie will face Democrat Lieutenant Governor Ralph Northam in the general election. An American college student whose parents say has been in a coma while serving a 15-year prison term in North Korea was released and returned to the United States Tuesday, as the Trump administration revealed a rare exchange with the reclusive country. London medics have treated 15 people for smoke inhalation as a major fire burned in West London. More details at srnnews.com.
Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. I've been telling you about Relief Factor for about 6 months now. I've been using Relief Factor for a lot longer than that. If you're struggling with ongoing back or neck pain, shoulder, hip, knee pain, general muscle aches and pain, do what I did. Go to ReliefFactor.com, order their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. Try it for 3 weeks, $19.95. ReliefFactor.com. That's ReliefFactor.com, or call toll-free 800-500-8384, 800-500-8384.
Ransomware is software that can infiltrate your business through email, enabling cyber criminals to hijack sensitive information as ransom for your own data's release. Leveraging Barracuda email security with advanced threat detection can stop a ransomware attack in its tracks. As an added measure, Barracuda Backup allows you to recover your data without having to surrender to extortion. Crime doesn't pay when you protect your business data with Barracuda. Go to barracuda.com/ransomware to learn more.
Did you ever have a problem with history class in school? Just too many dates and facts and names and numbers. This is Michael Medved. What makes history come alive for me is storytelling, and history is the one great true story. At MedvedHistoryStore.com, we have over 75 audio history programs, almost 150 hours, ranging on everything from the American Revolution and the miracle of the Constitution to the real Lincoln and the real George Washington, the origins of conflict in the Middle East. Go to MedvedHistoryStore.com. Listen, learn the riveting stories of America.
How's that kitchen remodel coming along?
I haven't found a reliable contractor and have no idea where to start.
What about Home Advisor?
Home what?
Home Advisor. They match you to pre-screened and top-rated pros for any kind of home project. You can even check pricing and book appointments online.
What's the catch?
No catch. Home Advisor is completely free to use.
Really? I'll check it out.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app.
Home Advisor.
Are you hiring? Do you know where to post your job to find the best candidates? Posting your job in one place isn't enough to find quality candidates. If you want to find the perfect hire, you need to post your job on all the top job sites. And now you can. With ZipRecruiter.com, you can post your job to 100 plus job sites, including social media networks like Facebook and Twitter, all with a single click. Find candidates in any city or industry nationwide. Just post once and watch your qualified candidates roll in to ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use interface. No juggling emails or calls to your office. Quickly screen candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast. Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by over 400,000 businesses. And right now, listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/America. That's ZipRecruiter.com/America. One more time. To try it for free, go to ZipRecruiter.com/America.
"34 minutes after the hour on the Michael Medved Show, Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General of the United States, testifying before the Senate Intelligence Committee. As strongly as he possibly could, he has denounced as a detestable lie the notion that he ever colluded with Russia. I don't know if that accusation has ever been directly made against Attorney General Sessions, but it has been very firmly and very forcefully denied here. He also was asked a question by Senator Mark Warner. Senator Warner is the ranking Democrat on the committee, right after Senator Richard Burr, the chairman, Republican of North Carolina, of the Intelligence Committee, had gone through the testimony basically with Attorney General Sessions. Senator Warner got into the question of the special counsel, Robert Mueller, and the job that he is doing. Listen.
Do you have confidence in Director Mueller's ability to conduct his investigation fairly and impartially?
Well, first, I don't know about these reports and have no basis to
but I'm asking you, sir,
their
I'm asking you.
validity. I have known Mr. Mueller over the years. He served 12 years as FBI director. I knew him before that, and I have confidence in Mr. Mueller.
So you have confidence he can
but
do his
I'm
job?
not going to discuss any hypotheticals or what might be a factual situation in the future that I'm not aware of today, because I know nothing about the investigation.
Do you believe?
fully recused
I've got a
myself.
series of questions, sir. Do you believe the president has confidence in Director Mueller?
I have no idea. I've not talked to him about it.
Okay, what this is about is that yesterday on PBS, Judy Woodruff show, Christopher Ruddy, who is a friend of President Trump's, said that the president is considering pulling the plug on the whole Mueller investigation and firing Bob Mueller. And here's an interesting thing. Chris Cillizza on CNN actually, I think, had a very intelligent comment, which is that Ruddy went on to say this would be a terrible idea. I mean, it would be a disaster. And the impression that Chris Cillizza had, based upon Ruddy talking about it, and by the way, the White House issued a statement saying that Ruddy had never spoken with President Trump about this. He didn't know. How would he know that President Trump was considering it, because they'd never spoken to Trump about it? So they aren't denying that Trump is thinking about it, but they are saying that certainly that Ruddy was not authorized because he hadn't spoken with Trump about it. In any event, the idea that Chris Cillizza had over at CNN is that Ruddy recognized, as any sane conservative has to recognize, if Trump actually tried to fire Mueller, he would destroy his presidency. It would be the dumbest thing in the world. The dumbest thing in the world. It would be the dumbest thing in the world because what it would do would be immediately to trigger the resignation of Rod Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General, who has said very clearly in congressional testimony, answering questions for Jeanne Shaheen of New Hampshire and from Susan Collins of Maine, that he has confidence in Mueller and that he doesn't believe that Mueller has done anything to cause his own firing. And under Justice Department regulations, you can only fire somebody for cause, and you have to give the cause for firing him as written, and that decision has to be made in this case, it would be the acting Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, because Sessions has recused himself. I know all that sounds really complicated, but what it means is that Trump wouldn't be shooting himself in the foot if he actually went ahead and fired Mueller. He'd be shooting himself in the mouth. And Chris Ruddy, who is a friend of the president, doesn't want him to do that. So the theory, at least, is that he went on PBS last night to give Trump some advice in the best way that Trump will actually listen to that advice, which is something that he sees on TV. Somebody can show him the clip. And then he can get the idea that this is a terrible thing to do. Lindsey Graham, by the way, also said it would be a disaster. There's no reason to fire Mueller. What's he done to be fired? And the idea that he has appointed people to work in his investigation who in the past have donated to Democrats, that does not indicate that the investigation is unfair. And by the way, what Ruddy said on TV was that his problem with the investigation, the reason that Trump was considering firing him, is because he was a friend of Comey and also because he had consulted with Trump about possibly being appointed to the FBI. It's all much too complicated and much too foolish. Something that isn't foolish, that is in fact sensible. Relief Factor. Glenda from California writes in, Relief Factor stops the pain with no adverse side effects. I'm delighted to get back to my normal lifestyle. That's a typical reaction of people who try the quick start on Relief Factor. It's just $19.95, gets you completely started on the course of relieving your pain. You have nothing to lose but your pain and the whole world to gain. Just $19.95 comes to 95 cents a day for the first 3 weeks, and 80% of people who try Relief Factor to that extent find that it works so well in reducing pain that they order more. Go to ReliefFactor.com. That's ReliefFactor.com, or you can give them a call at 800-500-8384. More about the Sessions testimony and what it means for the ongoing and incredibly complex continuing investigations in Washington, D.C. We'll be right back. Hey, we all want a good return on our investments, don't we? And that applies to the products that we buy as well. Why spend money on hair products that don't work? That's why my wife, Dr. Diane Medved, and I both recommend that you try Ovation Cell Therapy.
Well, my hair is certainly healthier, longer, thicker, and stronger thanks to Ovation Cell Therapy. The cell therapy treatment is clinically proven to deliver. There's only one cell therapy treatment. No other hair care line has this concentrated formula of vital proteins, amino acids, and key nutrients.
Right now, you get the clarifying shampoo free when you order Ovation's powerful cell therapy treatment. Both products are clinically proven and they're guaranteed, but hurry, nobody likes to miss out on free. Go to ovationhair.com. New customers can save even more by selecting Michael Medved in the survey at checkout. That's ovationhair.com, and remember to select Michael Medved.
WCAB, Rutherfordton.
Day, due to a storm, it can seem endless, but there's a new kind of storm brewing, one that could target our nation's power grid and turn off the power not just for days, but months or even longer. Would you be prepared? Veteran news anchor Ted Koppel's new book, Lights Out, details this exact scenario. It's why many Americans are securing their own solar-powered generators to provide an endless supply of life-saving electricity without gas, fumes, or noise. When it comes to lightweight and powerful solar generators, the breakthrough Patriot Power Generator 1500 has it all, providing up to 1,500 continuous watts of clean, quiet, and free renewable solar power. You'll be able to power heat and lights, preserve food, recharge cell phones and computers, and keep critical medical devices going day after day, all from rechargeable solar power. If a blackout strikes, be protected with the power you need when you need it most. The Patriot Power Generator 1500. For all of the details, just go to blackout26.com. That's blackout26.com. Blackout26.com.
Remember when you used to write personal and confidential in an envelope so only the recipient would see the contents? Now you send emails and they aren't nearly as personal or confidential. If you use Gmail, Yahoo, AOL, or another big tech company as your email service provider, they scan your emails and target you with unwanted advertising, and many of them share your personal information with government agencies. Ronald Reagan wouldn't stand for it. He believed your freedom and your privacy were individual rights that came from God and were protected by our Constitution's Bill of Rights. So take back your God-given, constitutionally mandated right to privacy right now. Get a Reagan email address at reaganprivacy.com. They don't scan your emails and they don't share your private information with government agencies. They leave you alone. A Reagan email address costs as little as $33 a year. That's only 9 cents a day. And right now, you also get 2 free bonus months. Get your Reagan email address today at reaganprivacy.com. That's reaganprivacy.com.
I think the best thing to do is to let Robert Mueller do his job. I think the best vindication for the president is to let this investigation go on independently and thoroughly. That, to me, is the smartest thing to do, the best thing to do, and that's what I think hopefully will happen.
44 minutes after the hour on the Michael Medved Show. That was Speaker Paul Ryan earlier today. And he, of course, is correct, it seems to me. That would be obvious. The reason we have a special counsel, a special prosecutor, Robert Mueller, who did serve for 12 years in the position in the FBI, is basically to clear away, to deal with, to get to the bottom of some of these ongoing charges, such as they are. And the difficulty, of course, and this is going to inevitably come up as part of the Sessions testimony, is that President Trump himself, in his interview with Lester Holt and then subsequently, has indicated that the firing of James Comey was in fact related to the Russia investigation. Then that means that, given the fact that in President Trump's mind that was the reason he had to fire Comey, then that really raises the question of why it was that Jeff Sessions, who had recused himself from participation in the Russia investigation based upon, he just explained to the Senate committee, a Justice Department regulation saying that if you were part of a campaign that is being investigated, you're not supposed to take part in that investigation. Okay. The entire thing is tangled up at the moment in a great ball of stupidity. I think the American people are losing patience with it. I think members of Congress may be losing patience with it. And my ardent hope is that President Trump does not rise to the bait that he's being encouraged to rise to by some of my colleagues on talk radio and by people like Newt Gingrich, and now make war in a war that he can only lose, frankly, against the FBI former director, Bob Mueller, who is now charged as being a special counsel, especially after Jeff Sessions just said under oath that he has full confidence in former Director Mueller. Here is Jeff Sessions talking about the summing up what he had to say in his opening remarks. Yeah.
So I'll finish with this. I recuse myself from any investigation into the campaign for president, but I did not recuse myself from defending my honor against scurrilous and false allegations. At all times throughout the course of the campaign, the confirmation process, and since becoming Attorney General, I have dedicated myself to the highest standards. I've earned a reputation for that, at home and in this body, I believe, over decades of performance. The people of this country expect an honest and transparent government, and that's what we're giving them. This president wants to focus on the people of this country to ensure they are treated fairly and kept safe. The Trump agenda is to improve the lives of the American people. I know some have different ways of achieving this and different agendas, but that is his agenda, and it's one I share.
There is a strong statement about that agenda. If you are interested in finding out how the Constitution operates and the background to so many of these disputes, you have a chance this week, but it's your last week, to register for the free course Introduction to the Constitution at Hillsdale College. It's free, 15-minute segments, easily digestible and inspiring. Go to medvedforhillsdale.com, or you can go to my website, michaelmedved.com, and click on the Hillsdale banner. Let's play, because it just happened. Senator Dianne Feinstein, who is there with the Intelligence Committee, actually had an interchange about the firing of James Comey with the Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Listen.
When you wrote your letter on May 9, did you know that the president had already decided to fire Director Comey?
Senator Feinstein, I would say that I believe it's been made public that the president asked us our opinion. It was given, and he asked us to put that in writing. I don't know how much more he said about it than that, but I believe he has talked about it, and I would let his words speak for themselves.
Okay, I think that's a yes, that he did know that President Trump had already made up his mind. Let's go to Julie in Moreno Valley, California. Julie, you're on the Medved Show.
Hi, Michael.
Hi.
I was just wondering that I'm a long-time listener, and I haven't been with you since you've been down on Donald Trump before the election. But anyway, excuse me, I'm a little nervous. Why would you want President Trump to keep on Mueller when he's supposed to be a very good friend of Comey's, as well as he's starting to hire all these high-powered attorneys, which they're just out to destroy him?
Because Mueller was appointed by the Deputy Attorney General. If Trump fires Mueller, he will have to do it after Rod Rosenstein resigns. And Trump will immediately provoke extremely noisy calls for his impeachment, and the rest of his presidency will then proceed to collapse. And the reason for that is basically this. Once you've had a special counsel appointed by your own Justice Department, by your own Deputy Attorney General who you appointed, then on what basis, what is it exactly you're trying to hide? And I honestly do not believe that President Trump was involved with any collusion with the Russians in any way. So the idea that Mueller may be hiring some people that Newt Gingrich and Ann Coulter don't like is no reason at all to follow utterly self-destructive advice. Anyone who wants to see President Trump succeed, as I think patriotic people do, should think this is the last thing you would want to do. The only people who would benefit ultimately are people in media. We'll be right back on the Medved Show. High pressure may be great in a shower head or a nuclear fusion reactor, but it's definitely not so great when you're dealing with precious metals and a precious metals dealer. This is Michael Medved for American Federal Rare Coin and Bullion. For several years, I've been proud to purchase my precious metals investments from American Federal, and I can tell you firsthand, you'll never experience scare tactics, misleading hype, or high-pressure sales, not from Nick Gorovich, American Federal's owner, and his staff, because these people pride themselves on providing personalized attention, accurate facts, and educating consumers. They travel all 50 states, meeting clients face-to-face. Nick even flew to my home in Washington State to evaluate my portfolio and answer questions. American Federal will take the time to show you how different coins have performed. They'll evaluate your portfolio, and you'll receive the information you need to make an informed decision. Or give them a call, toll-free, 800-221-7694. That's 800-221-7694. And receive half off commission. That's AmericanFederal.com.
WCAB, Rutherfordton.
Glasses right now?
Imagine this, opening your eyes tomorrow to 20/20 vision. No daily contacts or glasses needed. It can happen, and it is affordable. TLC Laser Eye Centers wants to help as many people as possible achieve 20/20 vision, so they're offering a fantastic price on their premium LASIK experience. TLC uses the latest FDA-approved all-laser LASIK technology, and for less than what you might think. Find out if LASIK is right for you. Call TLC now for a free consultation. 800-885-4488. Be one of the first 50 listeners to call today and get $400 off your all-laser LASIK procedure. That's a savings of $200 per eye. TLC Laser Eye Centers has over 20 years experience and performed over 2 million procedures. Let our team help you. For your free consultation, call now. 800-885-4488. 800-885-4488. 800-885-4488. Results may vary.
After a rough day on the range, a feller can get a bit saddle sore. That's why I use Blue Emu Original Super Strength Cream. It works fast and penetrates deep to soothe my tired muscles and joints.
And he don't stink.
And I'll tell you one thing, I had no idea this stuff was so darn handy.
Blue Emu Original Super Strength Cream. Available at all major retailers. It works fast for long-lasting soothing of tired muscles and joints.
And you won't stink.
I'm KFC's Extra Crispy Colonel, and you're the extra busy regular person who has to make dinner for a family of 4. But you can shirk that responsibility because my Extra Crispy $20 fill-up from KFC contains 8 pieces of freshly double-breaded extra crispy chicken, 4 biscuits, 2 orders of mashed potatoes, and a side of coleslaw for just $20. That'll feed them. KFC, it's extra crispy good.
Pricing and participation may vary. Tax and substitutions extra.
You can get new life in any room in your house with new window coverings from Blinds.com. They'll deliver stylish shades or blinds or drapes or whatever you need. And you can, through June 21st, you can get 20% off site-wide at Blinds.com by using the promo code MEDVED. That's Blinds.com, the promo code MEDVED. Rules and restrictions apply. Rod Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General, who is extraordinarily important here because he is directly responsible for appointing. He was the one who selected Robert Mueller, and he was appointed by President Trump. He was confirmed, I believe, unanimously or very close to unanimously by the U.S. Senate. All Republicans, all Democrats. Rod Rosenstein, somebody who is universally respected in Washington, D.C. He said very directly that the only basis for firing Bob Mueller is with cause, and you have to make a written case that he is mishandling the investigation. And Attorney General Jeff Sessions, moments ago, just said that he saw no cause and no reason to call for his firing. So I would hope that that could stop this incredibly destructive and Trump-damaging stupidity about terminating Bob Mueller. Dory, Camarillo, California, you're on the Michael Medved Show.
Well, you know, I used to be a huge fan until the election, and it saddens me to say that I'm no longer a huge fan of yours. I know that you're very, very brilliant. I understand that. But sometimes I think you lack common sense. Why do I say that? I say it because of your stance during the election, Trump or Clinton, and you chose neither one. But in this case, I just heard what you said about Mueller. What I'm going to say to you is, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I understand this incorrectly, and please correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
It is my understanding that Mueller is picking Democrats to head this investigation, and it is my feeling, and that based on evidence that I have seen for almost 2 years, that there are no longer impartial Democrats in this country.
Okay, that would be the same as saying there are no longer impartial Republicans, which means that you can't confirm a Neil Gorsuch, that you can't confirm anybody because you can't work with the other side. The idea that someone is a Democrat as a disqualification for participating in an investigation would be just as outrageous as if someone like Senator Feinstein said, oh, Mueller can't pick him because he's a Republican. I mean, it's absurd. Mueller has served with great distinction and considerable success under both Democratic and Republican presidents. He has been appointed by both. He was appointed by a Republican deputy attorney general. And the idea that our partisanship has become so blinding and so insane that the fact that someone may appoint a Democrat or even several Democrats makes him deserving firing is a tragedy in this.
WCAB, Rutherfordton.
My pillow, and I was skeptical initially that it really was as great as everybody says it is. Well, got my first My Pillow, and I do love it. I sleep better at night, wake up with less stiffness and aches and pains. It's a terrific product. My Pillow is offering 50% off on the 4-pack special, and you'll also receive free shipping. If you're looking for a great night's sleep, now's the perfect time to get your first My Pillow. If you already know how great My Pillow is, why not give them to everybody you know? They're great gifts. Call 1-800-320-6280. Use the promo code MEDVED or go to mypillow.com, but make sure you use the promo code MEDVED to get that big 50% discount. Call 1-800-320-6280. 1-800-320-6280. Use the promo code MEDVED. 1-800-320-6280 and use that promo code MEDVED.
Let the WCAB marketing team go to work for your business. It works. Call Tracy or Jim at 287-3356.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Patrick Foss. A defiant Attorney General Jeff Sessions testified on Capitol Hill about the Russia probe. Sessions says he recused himself from the Russia investigation not because he did anything wrong, but because of a Justice Department rule about conflicts of interest.
That regulation states in effect that department employees should not participate in investigations of a campaign if they served as a campaign advisor.
Sessions says he decided early on that changes were needed at the top of the FBI, calling James Comey's handling of the Hillary Clinton email probe an infringement of Justice Department authority. President Trump is said to be considering firing the special counsel in the Russia investigation.
A close friend of the president said Mr. Trump is weighing the option of terminating special counsel Robert Mueller. Chris Ruddy, who was at the White House on Monday, also told the PBS NewsHour he thought it would be a mistake for the president to do so. Press Secretary Sean Spicer said Ruddy never spoke to the president regarding this issue. Ruddy's comments come as Trump supporters have begun questioning Mueller's impartiality. Greg Clugston, Washington.
In the Virginia primary, Ralph Northam has won the Democratic nomination in Virginia's closely watched race for governor.
You, the people, should be picking your representatives. Politicians need to stop picking their voters. We need to get it done in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Republican Ed Gillespie will face him in the November general election. President Trump took his repeal and replace Obamacare message to Wisconsin Tuesday.
It's time to give American families quality, reliable, affordable health care. And that's what we are working very hard to do, and we'll get it done.
The president spoke in Milwaukee after meeting with two families negatively affected by the existing health care law. The repeal and replace bill may not have enough votes at this time to get through the Senate. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Welcome to the show that really stinks. Odor Events, brought to you by Citrus Magic. Today, the Jones family will name all the odor events they can in 30 seconds. Ready? Go!
Rotten garbage can.
Yes, Molly.
Ew, musty basement.
Good. Jimmy.
Poopy diaper.
Yep. Haley.
Smelly socks.
Yes, Dave.
Stinky litter box.
Yes, Molly.
Ugh, funky fridge fumes.
Good. Jimmy.
Potty odor. Pee. Pooh!
Yes, Haley.
Dad's feet. Wait, cat pee.
You're out of time.
But
I'm sorry. See you again next week for
That's squirrel.
Odor Events, the show that really stinks.
Want to get rid of the odor events in your home? Start using Citrus Magic. The strength of its citrus makes odors disappear and replaces them with the fresh scent of natural citrus. Citrus Magic. Use the non-aerosol spray for odor events and the solids for 24/7 odor control.
Researchers are reporting the results of their tests using drones to deliver heart defibrillators to homes where people had cardiac arrests.
The drones arrived at about 5 minutes after taking off, almost 17 minutes faster than ambulances. Each of those minutes could spell the difference between life and death. This was just a speed test. Now researchers say the next step is to test the idea on real patients. Cardiac arrest is a leading cause of death worldwide, killing more than 6 million people every year. But experts say the results of the Swedish study, published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, are remarkable and proof that the idea is worth exploring. Bob Agnew reporting.
Iraq's health minister says a mass food poisoning at a camp for displaced people near the northern city of Mosul has killed at least 2 and sickened hundreds. She says 752 people took ill after a meal was distributed the previous evening at the Hassan Sham U2 camp. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Helen Zille, the ex-leader of South Africa's main opposition Democratic Alliance, has publicly apologized for her tweet, saying there were some positive aspects of colonialism.
The fiery Helen Zille, the former leader of the Democratic Alliance, or DA, looked decidedly chastened as she apologized for her tweets, in which she said not all aspects of colonialism were bad. The drama following her social media outburst has threatened to reverse recent gains made by the party. At a decidedly awkward news conference, flanked by her successor, Mmusi Maimane, Mrs. Zille admitted that she had been insensitive in her comments and said her focus would now be on supporting the DA in building an inclusive society.
That's the BBC's Karen Allen. Firefighters are battling a massive fire at an apartment high-rise in London. One side of the building appeared to be in flames. 40 fire engines and 200 firefighters have been called to the scene early Wednesday. More of these stories at townhall.com. I'm Patrick Foss.
Hi, Tom Green with a check on your weather going into Wednesday. Scattered thunderstorms, a low around 66, a high around 90 with scattered showers and thunderstorms, and a low 66 Wednesday night. For Thursday, partly cloudy, scattered showers, a high 88, and Friday, scattered showers and a high 88. We thank you for tuning to us for the latest in news, sports, and weather. Join Jim Bishop at 6:05 for the wake-up call, morning call-around report, and great gospel music. Lou Gillen midday. I'll be in the afternoon with the Braves baseball here on AM 590 WCAB Rutherford.
America's #1 show on pop culture and politics. This is The Michael Medved Show.
And another great day in this greatest nation on God's green earth. A great day of continuing drama in Washington, D.C. The unfolding melodrama, mystery, confrontation, battle, however you want to describe it. What is it really about? Is it really about people thinking that President Trump is actually a puppet of Vladimir Putin? No. It can't be about that because there is no basis for believing that at all. And Director Comey confirmed in his testimony last week, he confirmed that on 3 different occasions, he informed President Trump that he was not under investigation. One of the things that's fascinating about the ongoing testimony by Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General, is that he suggests that Comey may have broken FBI procedures and deserved firing because he informed President Trump that he wasn't under investigation. He's not supposed to be talking to the president about any details about an ongoing investigation, even when it comes to reassuring him. 1-800-955-1776. By the way, this is interesting because one of the many mysteries about this entire Comey firing is why it is that in the letter that President Trump wrote, and it's a very brief letter, it's just a paragraph, firing Comey, the only thing he mentions there, he says, thank you for informing me on 3 different occasions that I am not the subject of an investigation. And could it be that he included that mention in his letter terminating Comey because Jeff Sessions had informed him that by giving President Trump that reassurance that President Trump apparently craved, that Comey had violated department regulations and thereby merited his own dismissal? 1-800-955-1776. Just a quick word on this piece on the Hill that has details about how 3 members of the staff that Bob Mueller has assembled to investigate this matter of Russian interference with the U.S. election. It is not, he's not supposed to be investigating the Comey firing or any other specific aspect of the Trump administration. He's supposed to be investigating what went on during the campaign. And it does turn out that public records show that 3 members of the Mueller staff, whose names are Jeannie Rhee, and there is also James Quarles, and one more named Andrew Weissman, all have given to Democratic candidates in the past. Quarles, by the way, has also donated to Republican candidates, including Jason Chaffetz and Senator George Allen, former senator from Virginia, back in 2005. Now, does this indicate that he is setting up a biased investigation? All 3 of these people are people who are careerists in law enforcement, working at the Justice Department or as special prosecutors with the FBI over the years. And it is not uncommon for people in those capacities to donate to political candidates and causes. And it should not disqualify them from serving in an impartial capacity in this investigation. Try to imagine, and I think it's always a good exercise, how we would react if it turned out that some of the people he's appointed have contributed to Republicans. And then you had Chuck Schumer shouting, wait. They're people who contributed to Republicans who are now being asked to investigate Trump. They can't possibly be impartial. They shouldn't be there. You cannot make it a crime of some sort or a disqualification for someone to serve in an investigative or legal capacity if that individual has given a public and financial support to one party or another. And the idea that Robert Mueller, who, by the way, was a much decorated Marine platoon leader in Vietnam, who is someone with not a whisper of scandal about him during 12 years at the FBI, who was, by the way, reappointed to that position by President George W. Bush. The idea that Mueller is some kind of partisan hack who was out to get Trump is precisely the kind of paranoia that doomed the Nixon administration and will wreck the Trump administration if it's not curbed and condemned, as it deserves to be. And let me be clear about this. The only people who would benefit by a firing of Rob Mueller are people in the media because they love confrontation. And by the way, I think this is true, frankly, for people on the right in the media, as well as for people on the left in the media. What is the biggest fantasy that anybody who does the job that I do has. The biggest fantasy is an impeachment drama because it's dramatic, it's interesting, it's great for ratings. I mean, look at what this entire controversy surrounding the Trump administration has done for MSNBC. They're doing great in the ratings. Basically, talking about scandal all the time is something that doesn't benefit the Republicans. It doesn't benefit the Democrats. It doesn't benefit anybody except for people who are reporting on it. 1-800-955-1776 is our phone number. Anyone who suggests that President Trump would help his own success as president by firing Mueller is giving the president the worst possible advice. And I'm glad to see that Chris Ruddy is not in that group. Chris Ruddy has said it would be a disaster. By the way, so did Susan Collins of Maine. She said that firing Mueller would, quote, certainly be an extraordinarily unwise move. This is, it seems to me, breathtakingly obvious. Part of the reason it's so obvious is because this morning, Rod Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General appointed by President Trump, confirmed by the U.S. Senate, the man who selected Bob Mueller to be the special counsel, was answering questions from two U.S. senators at an appropriations subcommittee. One of the U.S. senators is Jeanne Shaheen, a Democrat of New Hampshire. The other was Senator Susan Collins, Republican of Maine. Here's what it sounded like.
And at this point, have you seen any evidence of good cause for firing of Special Counsel Mueller?
No, I have not.
And have you given the Special Counsel full independence from the Justice Department to conduct his investigation?
Yes, Senator, I appreciate that question. At the last hearing I attended, I explained it would require a long time to explain exactly why. I'm confident that he has full independence. The short answer is, though, that regulation, as you may know, was written and implemented during the Clinton administration under the authority of Attorney General Reno. I know the folks who wrote that. They wrote it to deal with these sort of situations, and I am confident that he will have sufficient independence. Certainly theoretically possible that the Attorney General could fire him, but that's the only person who has authority to fire him. And in fact, the chain of command for the special counsel is only directly to the Attorney General, or in this case, the Acting Attorney General. So nobody else in the department would have authority to do that. And you have my assurance that we're going to faithfully follow that regulation, and Director Mueller is going to have a full degree of independence that he needs to conduct that investigation appropriately.
Okay, in other words, what he's saying is the only person who can fire him is me, and I'm not going to do it. Susan Collins then asked him this.
And is there a record that gives him that full independence? Is that done in a letter or an order from you as the Deputy Attorney General?
Yes, Senator. It's done in the order, which I believe was issued on May 17th. And the order references the regulation from which you've read. And so that is the source of his authority.
Okay, that was actually Senator Jeanne Shaheen. We'll come back with what Susan Collins asked. Jeff Sessions was just asked by Marco Rubio at the Senate hearings. He was asked about tape recordings in the White House. Oh, yeah, remember that? Were there tape recordings of the interaction between President Trump and James Comey? What should be done with those tapes if they exist? We'll get the opinion of Jeff Sessions. Also, a very, very strong statement by Rod Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General, that he will not allow this investigation to be blocked or wrecked, regardless of what partisan hacks may suggest. We'll be right back. Hey, this is Michael Medved for our friends at BestHotGrill.com. Summer's right here, and the time is right for grilling, especially with a hot, fast Solaire infrared gas grill. They make these amazing USA-made grills that heat up to 1,000 degrees in just 3 minutes. It's incredible. Now, don't be confused by grills that just claim to be infrared. Not all infrared grills are the same. If the burner doesn't glow like the sun and the grill doesn't have V grates to eliminate flare-ups, you won't make the juicy, flavorful food that we enjoy with our our Solaire grill so consistently. Solaire has been making infrared grills for almost 2 decades, and it's really dialed in the design. Experience Solaire infrared firsthand with a Solaire demo rental program. Use coupon code Hot Mike for a $10 discount on your demo, where you can test the versatility of Solaire with all the foods your family enjoys without a salesman breathing down your neck. Learn more at besthotgrill.com. That's besthotgrill.com. Great food fast with Solaire infrared at besthotgrill.com.
Your new landscaping looks amazing. Who did you use? I found a great local pro on HomeAdvisor. Home what? HomeAdvisor.com. It's really easy to use. I just put in what I need and then they connect me with background check pros who can help. Did you find your painter there too? Yep, I use HomeAdvisor for everything. How much does it cost? It's free. And check it out. I can even book an appointment online. That's so easy. How did I not know about HomeAdvisor?
Go to HomeAdvisor.com now or download the free app.
HomeAdvisor. Are you looking to get out of your timeshare with a 100% guarantee? I'm Karen, owner of Lone Star Transfer. We have helped thousands of timeshare owners get out of their timeshare legally and ethically. We have an excellent track record and we have an A+ rating with the BBB. Call us today for a free consultation at 844-310-2646 or online at LoneStarTransfer.com. That's 844-310-2646 or LoneStarTransfer.com. We will help you today.
Did you ever have a problem with history class in school? Just too many dates and facts and names and numbers. This is Michael Medved. What makes history come alive for me is storytelling, and history is the one great true story. At MedvedHistoryStore.com, we have over 75 audio history programs, almost 150 hours ranging on everything from the American Revolution and the miracle of the Constitution to the real Lincoln and the real George Washington, the origins of conflict in the Middle East. Go to MedvedHistoryStore.com. Listen, learn the riveting stories of America.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? You should know. The credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people. They're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-518-4020. 800-518-4020. That's 800-518-4020.
Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and bad tweets can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. Reputation.com can protect your good name. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system. Call right now for a free expert reputation analysis. Call 800-651-4888. 800-651-4888.
21 minutes after the hour on the Michael Medved Show, Marco Rubio, in the hearings with Jeff Sessions, asked Attorney General Sessions a question that the president has teased the media about. And here's the question and the answer.
Do you know if the president records conversations in the Oval Office or anywhere in the White House?
I do not.
Let me ask you this. If, in fact, any president was to record conversations in their official duties in the White House or the like, would there be an obligation to preserve those records?
I don't know, Senator Rubio. Probably so.
Yeah, probably. I mean, we're talking about such crazy territory here. Firing Bob Mueller is crazy territory. It's crazy territory. You may remember that everybody, including Newt Gingrich, when he was appointed, hailed the appointment because that was going to be the best way to try to move ahead and beyond this investigation, and to get the administration not quite so tied up with charges and countercharges, but to talk about a positive agenda for change, which is why people elected Donald J. Trump. And most of that agenda for change, nearly all of it, I enthusiastically support, by the way. And I do think it's important that the Senate do something to advance the cause of repealing and replacing Obamacare. There are tens of millions of Americans who depend on it, who can no longer afford their insurance. I think that tax reform is a huge priority. So is building up our national defense. So is responding to some of the terrorist threats and some of the foreign policy threats around us. And the idea that somehow you're going to advance that cause by firing former FBI Director Robert Mueller, who, by the way, he was initially appointed to the FBI in 2001 by George W. Bush. And did you hear anyone saying, oh, no, this is a bad thing that we have a special counsel? No, the whole idea is to allow politicians now, our elected representatives, the members of the Senate, the members of the House, people working in the administration, to turn away from this distraction. I think it is a distraction, and get back to the business of the people, like what I discussed with Congressman Steve Scalise of Louisiana. We just got some bad news on the deficit. It's not Mr. Trump's fault. It isn't. Because right now, the spending blueprint is all the spending blueprint that was basically laid out by Obama. But all of a sudden, boom, our deficit is much worse, almost twice as bad in the month of May for 2017 as it was in 2016. That requires attention, and the only attention that matters is having an economy that grows. Meanwhile, Blinds.com has a 100% satisfaction guarantee, which means even if you mismeasure or you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. Now through June 21st, you can get 20% off site-wide at Blinds.com when you use the promo code MEDVED. That's Blinds.com, promo code MEDVED. This is Jeff Sessions from his opening statement just minutes ago, really, where he spoke in extraordinarily strong terms about charges that he was somehow involved in Russian collusion.
Let me state this clearly, colleagues. I have never met with or had any conversation with any Russians or any foreign officials concerning any type of interference with any campaign or election in the United States. Further, I have no knowledge of any such conversations by anyone connected to the Trump campaign. I was your colleague in this body for 20 years, at least some of you, and and the suggestion that I participated in any collusion, that I was aware of any collusion with the Russian government to hurt this country, which I have served with honor for 35 years, or to undermine the integrity of our democratic process, is an appalling and detestable lie. Relatedly, there is the assertion that I did not answer Senator Franken's question honestly at my confirmation hearing. Colleagues, that is false.
Okay, what he says is, it puts the context of the question, I think, properly. And I supported the confirmation of Jeff Sessions as Attorney General, and I do not believe that he perjured himself or somehow deliberately misrepresented his casual meetings. They weren't high-level meetings. His casual saying hello to the Russian ambassador in his capacity as a senior U.S. Senator. Let's go quickly to Sean in Atlanta. Sean, you're on the MedVed Show.
I appreciate it, Michael. I believe that Russia has never done anything for mankind aside from that International Space Station. And in the 50s and 60s, people will be calling the Trump and his administration communist. And I think that for Trump to fire all these people, he's doing exactly what Russians are doing, which is combobulating elections and media.
Okay, wait,
Trump
Sean,
came up-
I've just got to stop you. It's too serious. I mean, right now, what Vladimir Putin did yesterday, his chief opponent and probably his most likely opponent in the presidential election they have coming up in Russia in 2018, is a guy named Alexei Navalny, who is quite a good guy. And he's just been arrested and he's been sentenced to 30 days because of the demonstrations they had yesterday in Russia. We had much bigger demonstrations here in the United States against President Trump, and he was relatively cheerful about them. Certainly no attempt to arrest anyone or to suppress free speech. I think that one of the things that we really have to try to do, certainly Democrats really need to get control of this. Don't yell wolf. It undermines all credibility. And the same way that I think people on the right sometimes make outrageous, ridiculous charges, the charge that Trump is in any way comparable to Putin in terms of suppressing free speech is outrageous and unfair. Let's go to Scott in Columbus, Ohio. You're on the Medved Show.
Hey, Michael. How are you?
I'm well.
Great. Well, I wanted to say, like, I can't, and I love your show, and you are truly brilliant. But I cannot believe that every day we sit here and give all this credence to this so-called Russian collusion, because there has been absolutely nothing. Well, first let me go back. Jim Comey said that the Russians do this. This isn't the first time. So most of this was done under Obama's administration, and this is nothing more than them trying to get their hands on Trump's taxes. I don't even like Trump, to be honest. I did vote for him, only anti-Hillary. But this is the craziest thing, and I cannot believe we're spending this much time.
Okay, would you stay on the line, Scott? Because I think you're speaking for literally tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of Americans who don't really understand what is the big deal here. Why are there even suspicions about this? There are reasons. We'll be right back and focus on the latest from the Sessions hearings coming up.
The Michael Medved Show. MichaelMedved.com.
With SRN News, I'm Patrick Foss. President Trump was able to see some of Attorney General Jeff Sessions' Capitol Hill testimony and gave him a good review. Speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One, he said he thought Sessions did a very good job in testimony to the Senate Intelligence Committee and believes the Attorney General was especially strong on denying any collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. An American college student who was released from a North Korean prison has been taken to an Ohio hospital for treatment. Otto Warmber, whose parents say he's in a coma, arrived at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center late Tuesday. Warmber was serving a 15-year prison term with hard labor in North Korea for alleged anti-state acts. Ambulances are being sent to the scene of a major high-rise fire in London, and Republican Ed Gillespie has nearly won his party's nomination in Virginia's race for governor. He'll face Democrat Lieutenant Governor Ralph Northam in the general election. This is SRN News.
Welcome to the show that really stinks. Odor Events, brought to you by Citrus Magic. Today, the Jones family will name all the odor events they can in 30 seconds. Ready? Go!
Rotten garbage can.
Yes, Molly.
Ew, musty basement.
Good. Jimmy.
Poopy diaper.
Yep. Haley.
Smelly socks.
Yes, Dave.
Stinky litter box.
Yes, Molly.
Ugh, funky fridge fumes.
Good. Jimmy.
Potty odor PU.
Yes, Haley.
Dad's feet. Wait, cat pee.
You're out of time.
But
I'm sorry. See you again next week for
That's squirrel.
Odor Events, the show that really stinks.
Want to get rid of the odor events in your home? Start using Citrus Magic. The strength of its citrus makes odors disappear and replaces them with the fresh scent of natural citrus. Citrus Magic. Use the non-aerosol spray for odor events and the solids for 24/7 odor control.
Freedom. One nation in all of human history was built on that bedrock. Ours. A republic of the people, by the people, and for the people. Self-government requires freedom, just as freedom requires an individual willingness to self-govern. Freedom has made America exceptional, but it can only last as long as you and I seek the good, as expressed by the laws of nature, and nature's God. It can only last if you and I choose to act as people of character. Forging character has been the pursuit of Hillsdale College since 1844. Hillsdale College forges character and elevates civic discourse both on campus and nationwide. To find out how you can take their free online courses or receive a complimentary subscription to Imprimis, a monthly speech digest, visit hillsdalefreedom.com. That's hillsdalefreedom.com.
How's that kitchen remodel coming along?
I haven't found a reliable contractor and have no idea where to start.
What about Home Advisor?
Home what?
Home Advisor. They match you to pre-screened and top-rated pros for any kind of home project. You can even check pricing and book appointments online.
What's the catch?
No catch. Home Advisor is completely free to use.
Really? I'll check it out.
Go to homeadvisor.com or download the free app.
Home Advisor.
If you're familiar with cloud computing, you probably know that Amazon Web Services offers a complete set of secure compute, storage, application, and deployment services that help companies launch and scale their IT infrastructures while lowering costs. But did you know that you're still responsible for protecting your own AWS-based assets, meaning your applications and data, from advanced cyber threats? Protect your AWS with Barracuda Network's advanced firewall solutions. Visit AWS Marketplace or barracuda.com/AWS to learn more.
"34 minutes after the hour on the Michael Medved Show, the sessions continue with Sessions. It's the sessions with the Senate Intelligence Committee. The one thing that I don't think anyone can question is the idea that in terms of his personal involvement or any suspicions of Senator, now Attorney General Sessions' involvement with Russians in any kind of improper way, he has blown those suspicions completely out of the water. They were always groundless. Jeff Sessions is someone you may agree with, you may disagree with, but he's not somebody who is collaborating with any sort of foreign power, and he's made that very clear and I think done very effectively in defending his own honor, and he put it in precisely those terms. Let me go back to Scott in Columbus, Ohio. Scott, you there?
Mike.
Are you there?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good. Let me just respond to what you're saying very quickly. You're completely correct. There is no direct evidence at all that President Trump has been personally involved in any kind of collusion or cooperation or conspiracy or anything with the Russians. However, there are a range of people, actually 7 of them, very prominently, all of whom are close to Trump, who have been involved in very questionable stuff, so much so that at least one of them is facing indictment, probably 2. And there have been subpoenas delivered and, in fact, some stuff that is uncontested. General Flynn, who was National Security Advisor for 3 weeks, has not contested the idea that he had unreported payments, and very large ones, from the government of Turkey, from Russia, from Russian interests. And by the way, it goes not just to General Flynn. President Trump's personal attorney, who was also an attorney in his campaign, Michael D. Cohen, had extensive business relationships with Russia. And Paul Manafort, who was a campaign manager for 5 months, is in a world of trouble, partially because of attempting to conceal some of his very well-known, very well-documented business associations with Viktor Yanukovych, for whom he worked, who was the Putin puppet who was deposed as president of Ukraine. Now, that's not a crime to be involved with Yanukovych, but it does raise a question of a pattern. There are other people, Carter Page, Roger Stone, who are very, very much part of Trump world, who have deep, deep connections to Russia. That's what this investigation's about.
Well, if I could respond, one, they're not president. Donald Trump is. And secondly, it's so hypocritical that here all these Democrats were backing Hillary. And to talk about collusion with Russia is putting it mildly. But until they have some kind of proof, this has been going on for 8 months. And if they were affecting our elections, you would have think that Obama would have interjected instead of...
Well, he did. And part of what this is about is that President Obama imposed sanctions on the Russians because they were interfering with our election. And by the way, no one doubts that. I have heard no one question that there was a serious Russian attempt to interfere with our elections. There's an interesting piece today in the Wall Street Journal by someone who was personally hacked by the Russians. And he makes the point that the Russian interference in our election wasn't so much in order to elect Donald Trump or to elect Hillary Clinton. The whole purpose of their interference was to try to erode and corrupt American democracy and to get exactly what is going on right now. In other words, it's successful, which is to have Americans sniping at one another and a seeming breakdown of our normal politics. But I just want to remind you, Scott, I'm sure you have some memory. Were you alive and participating in politics during the Clinton administration, the Bill Clinton administration?
I was alive, but I was not participating.
Okay, well, one thing that you ought to recall is those of us on the Republican side, and I was very much on the Republican side and very eager to push this, wanted full investigations of Whitewater, which was a land deal that had gone wrong, of Hillary Clinton's illegitimate trading in cattle futures, of her wrongful firing of the House Travel Office, of the disappearance of White House files, including stuff that happened long before the presidency, and some of it involving them as private citizens. This is something that happens when you're president of the United States, and to pretend that there's no basis for an investigation, I think is a little bit of blind. Speaking of which, Relief Factor. You'd have to be blind not to see that this is a product that works for most people. Like George from Oregon, who writes in, I'm in a garbage truck 10 hours a day with limited movement for my right knee. Needless to say, stiffness due to swelling was my situation. I can bend my knee again now with very little pain. Very pleased with Relief Factor. Most people are pleased. In fact, so many people that 80% of people who order the Quick Start, get 3 weeks of Relief Factor, end up getting more. And it's just $19.95, covers you for 3 weeks. It's 95 cents a day. You will see that it works to reduce your soreness, your stiffness, your pain. Go to ReliefFactor.com, order your own Quick Start, or you can give them a call. Call Relief Factor at 800-500-8384. That's 800-500-8384. Coming up, Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas lashes out at the Democrats' handling of the scandal. Coming up. Sooner or later, your vehicle will break down. If you're lucky, it'll be covered under the manufacturer's warranty. But after the warranty expires, something like a new engine or a new transmission could cost you over $5,000. Even a simple repair to a sensor can cost over $1,000. That's why I strongly recommend getting extended coverage from CarShield.com. CarShield makes the whole process so easy. You select your favorite mechanic or you get the work done at the dealership. There's no checks in the mail stuff or waiting for a reimbursement. CarShield gets the mechanic paid directly. CarShield's administrators even provide 24/7 roadside assistance and a rental car while yours may be in the shop. If your car is 3 to 12 years old, it doesn't mean you have to pay high repair bills. Get the ultimate protection against repair costs before it's too late. Call 800-CAR-6100, 800-CAR-6100, and mention the code MEDVED, or visit carshield.com and use the code MEDVED with an M to save 10%. A deductible may apply.
Are you a responsible person who finds yourself going deeper and deeper in credit card debt and you're not sure how to fix the problem? Then get ready for a toll-free number that will put you on a path to financial recovery. Trinity Debt Management is a non-profit organization that will consolidate your accounts into one easy-to-manage monthly payment. Put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges and reduce your interest rates by as much as 60%. You'll save thousands and become debt-free for keeps. It's not a loan. It's a smart way to relieve your stress, meet your obligations, and preserve your self-respect. If your debt has you down, we should talk. Gather up your bills and call this toll-free number for a free, no-obligation debt analysis. 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976. If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
Hey, we all want a good return on our investments, don't we? And that applies to the products that we buy as well. Why spend money on hair products that don't work? That's why my wife, Dr. Diane Medved, and I both recommend that you try Ovation Cell Therapy.
Well, my hair is certainly healthier, longer, thicker, and stronger thanks to Ovation Cell Therapy. The cell therapy treatment is clinically proven to deliver. There's only one cell therapy treatment. No other hair care line has this concentrated formula of vital proteins, amino acids, and key nutrients.
Right now, you get the clarifying shampoo free when you order Ovation's powerful cell therapy treatment. Both products are clinically proven and they're guaranteed, but hurry, nobody likes to miss out on free. Go to ovationhair.com. New customers can save even more by selecting Michael Medved in the survey at checkout. That's ovationhair.com, and remember to select Michael Medved. Four minutes after the hour on the Michael Medved Show, you can go to mypillow.com and you can get 50% off any product they have to offer. And regardless of how excited or frustrated you may be by the ongoing mess in Washington and the increasingly stupid and annoying melodrama that seems to be going on in the nation's capital, however you feel about it, MyPillow can help you sleep better and make the most of your time in dreamland. You can get MyPillow by calling 800-320-6280. Mention the code name Medved. And you know what? Use that promo code, you get 50% off and free shipping. Or you can just go to mypillow.com, see everything they have to offer, not just pillows that can provide better sleep, but great sheets and pillowcases and pillows using their patented technology of all different shapes and sizes. MyPillow.com, use the promo code Medved. All right, Tom Cotton. Now maybe we can make some kind of connection between cotton sheets and MyPillow. Okay, never mind. Tom Cotton, the senator from Arkansas and a distinguished veteran of the United States Army. I served in Afghanistan, and I believe Iraq as well. Tom Cotton questioned Jeff Sessions in a surprising way and moving the conversation perhaps in a surprising direction.
Jim Comey said last week, as he said to Donald Trump, that on 3 times he assured him he was not under investigation. Maybe it's because multiple Democrats on this committee have stated that they have seen no evidence thus far, after 6 months of our investigation and 10 months or 11 months of an FBI investigation, of any such collusion. I would just suggest, what do we think happened at the Mayflower? Mr. Sessions, are you familiar with what spies called tradecraft?
A little bit.
That involves things like covert communications and dead drops and brush passes, right?
That is part of it.
Do you like spy fiction? John Le Carre, Daniel Silva, Jason Matthews?
Yeah, Alan First, David Ignatius. Just finished Ignatius's book.
Do you like Jason Bourne or James Bond movies?
No, Yes, I do.
Have you ever, in any of these fantastical situations, heard of a plot line so ridiculous that a sitting United States senator and an ambassador of a foreign government colluded at an open setting with hundreds of other people to pull off the greatest caper in the history of espionage?
Thank you for saying that, Senator Cotton. It's just like through the looking glass. I mean, what is this?
Okay, what is this, in fact, indeed, when it comes to Jeff Sessions? And again, did I miss something? Or has any serious Democrat claimed that Jeff Sessions is personally compromised because he said hello to the Russian ambassador in a public setting in the Mayflower Hotel? Let's go to Sean in Lacey, Washington. Sean, you're on the Michael Medved Show.
Hey, Michael, it's an honor.
Thank you.
I think you're missing the point on the Mueller situation. So I think that the idea of that Trump communicating that he could let Mueller go or he could fire him, I think that's the same as telling Comey that he might have tapes. I think it's his way of forcing or leveraging like heavier scrutiny. He doesn't trust anybody. I mean, the FBI knew he wasn't involved, and they let everything leak except for that one fact. He doesn't trust anybody, so this is his way of kind of forcing a heightened scrutiny over the situation. And I think 15 minutes after everything is resolved and everything is absolved, he's going to go back and he's going to say, I'm so proud of Mueller and the investigation, this and that, and no one will look back. But I think this is his way of kind of leveraging a heightened scrutiny.
Okay, if you believe that, then I would just have to disagree with you about this being an effective strategy. It's not, because we have coming up elections. There's a primary election today in Virginia where the Democrats are choosing between, believe it or not, a Bernie Sanders style candidate who's been endorsed by Bernie Sanders and by Elizabeth Warren, Perriello, and a more mainstream Democratic candidate. And then there's going to be an election where Ed Gillespie, the likely Republican nominee, is going to be an outstanding candidate and give a chance of Republicans making some progress in Virginia, which is a state where we haven't been doing that well. In other words, elections are always happening. We have coming up this election in Georgia, where for the first time in several decades, the Democrats have a chance of picking up what has been a reliably Republican seat. The seat that Secretary of Housing, the Health and Human Services Secretary Tom Price occupied for many years, where he was reelected with 23% of the vote. If that flips, it's going to be an earthquake, and it's all going to endanger this agenda for change, which is worth pursuing. Now, part of the problem here was exactly what I think people reacted to when President Trump fired James Comey and did it the way he did. He may not trust anybody. He may have worried about Comey, but don't hurt yourself, sir. And the idea about firing Mueller is a way of hurting himself. Susan Collins asked Rod Rosenstein in a Senate subcommittee hearing earlier today this.
I just want to follow up quickly on the two questions that Senator Shaheen asked you about the special counsel. Has the president ever discussed with you the appointment of the special counsel or discussed the special counsel in any way?
No, he has not.
And second, if President Trump ordered you to fire the special counsel, what would you do?
Well, Senator, I'm not going to follow any orders unless I believe those are lawful and appropriate orders. Under the regulation, Special Counsel Mueller may be fired only for good cause, and I am required to put that cause in writing. And so that's what I would do. If there were a good cause, I would consider it. If there were not good cause, it wouldn't matter to me what anybody says.
It's a pretty strong statement, and it should indicate precisely why President Trump's wrong to talk in that direction. We'll be right back. Are you hiring? Do you know where to post your job to find the best candidates? That can be very difficult, particularly if you have demanding, specialized jobs. But whatever the job, with ZipRecruiter, you can post your job to 100-plus job sites with just one click. Then with their powerful technology, you will be efficiently matched to the right people for your job, better than anybody else can do it. That's why ZipRecruiter is different. Unlike other job sites, ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. In fact, over 80% of jobs posted on ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate in just 24 hours. No juggling emails or calls to your office. Simply screen, rate, and manage candidates all in one place with ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use dashboard. Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by businesses of all sizes to find the most qualified job candidates with immediate results. And right now, my listeners can post jobs on ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/Medved. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Medved. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/Medved.
Kyle is a dog trainer.
Okay, sit. Good boy.
In his personal time, Kyle's a personal trainer.
1, 2, good.
Kyle knows how to get results, but when it comes to mortgages, he's less confident.
Guilty as charged.
Fortunately, there's Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. It's simple, so he can understand the details and know he's getting the right mortgage. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Go to rocketmortgage.com today.
Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
After a rough day on the range, a feller can get a bit saddle sore. That's why I use Blue Emu Original Super Strength Cream. It works fast and penetrates deep to soothe my tired muscles and joints.
And he don't stink.
And I'll tell you one thing, I had no idea this stuff was so darn handy.
Blue Emu Original Super Strength Cream. Available at all major retailers. It works fast for long-lasting soothing of tired muscles and joints.
And you won't stink.
Over 70 million Americans have unhealthy blood pressure levels. Are you one of them? Introducing Berkeley Life, a 100% drug-free supplement to help maintain normal, healthy blood pressure while supporting energy and vitality. Now, for a limited time, try Berkeley Life free. Call 800-709-0668. A key to maintaining healthy blood pressure is your body's nitric oxide levels. Berkeley Life helps to boost nitric oxide levels naturally. The breakthrough is from a discovery which won a Nobel Prize in Medicine on nitric oxide levels in the bloodstream. Berkeley Life includes free saliva test strips to see your levels instantly. Now there is a supplement you test yourself and can see it's working. In a consumer study, 91% felt healthier after taking Berkeley Life for just 3 weeks. Here's Dr. Regina Drews, board-certified cardiologist.
I recommend the Berkeley Life supplement and test strips to help my patients maintain a healthier heart and blood vessels.
Get your free 30-day supply. Call 800-709-0668. Just pay shipping and handling. 800-709-0668. 800-709-0668. Results may vary.
Portions of the Michael Medved Show are brought to you by AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens.
And the Association of Mature American Citizens has been fighting for smaller government and religious liberty and Second Amendment rights and much more for a long time. You can join them and also get yourself terrific benefits without any of the liberal progressive politics of the AARP. AMAC delivers the very best benefits and discounts to its members, more than 1 million members now, on everything from health insurance to hotels to restaurants. Go to my website, check out the banner for AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, and you can also call them at 888-262-2006. I want to correct something because I absolutely do not want to give the wrong impression. I mentioned President Trump talking about firing Robert Mueller. He has made absolutely no hint that he actually would be considering that or doing it. This is people in his behalf. There was a comment by Christopher Ruddy of Newsmax, and Chris Ruddy is a friend of President Trump, and he said, though the White House denied that President Trump was considering this course of action, the White House didn't either confirm or deny that he was talking about firing Mueller, but they did say that President Trump hadn't spoken to Ruddy about it. So appropriately, the president has been completely silent on this issue of Mueller. I think it might be good if he actually stated he had confidence in the investigation and urged them to move forward quickly. Jay in the Bronx, you're on the Michael Medved Show.
Hey, Michael, I thought you did a great job of describing the Russian interference and what it really is and what it isn't. But I wanted to ask you about this emoluments clause case moving forward. And, real briefly, my understanding is that Trump is breaking the U.S. constitutional law by having any kind of business that he can collect money on.
Let me just tell you quickly, because we're going to run out of time. I don't think these cases that are brought by two very partisan Democrats in Maryland and District of Columbia, I don't think they're going to go anywhere. Really, they're not. Because, first of all, there's a question of standing. What they're saying is that this is actually that hotels are suffering, other hotels that aren't Trump hotels in Maryland and D.C., the entire thing is bogus. The emoluments clause has never been used in this way to force a president to totally divest of all of his business enterprises. This is it seems to me, a very, very good representative of why it is that the Democrats are overplaying their hand. There's some real questions to be asked, but not about this. For goodness sake, President Trump should have released his tax return, sure, but he didn't. He's president. Now we all really should grow up and work with him for the benefit of this greatest nation on God's green earth.
Credit drop. Recent 520.
It's hard to know what's up with your identity if you only get part of the story.
Of course, transactions, problem, account closure.
That's what happens when you rely on monitoring your credit to protect you from identity theft.
Charges, Vegas, Tuesday.
You might detect credit changes, but you can miss threats like a cell phone account or new loan in your name, or that your personal info is for sale on the dark web.
In particular, red flag. Bad.
Why not get a more complete story to help protect your identity? At LifeLock, we detect a range of identity threats, and if you have a problem, one of our U.S.-based specialists will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock gives you more than you'll get from just monitoring your credit. Memberships start at $9.99 a month plus applicable taxes. Join now for 10% off. Go to LifeLock.com and enter promo code SMART. That's promo code SMART. LifeLock. More detection, more protection.
Today's hits and yesterday's memories, WCAB Rutherfordton.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Patrick Foss. It was a defiant Attorney General Jeff Sessions testifying on Capitol Hill about the Russia probe.
An emotional session shooting down allegations he may have colluded with Russians.
The suggestion that I participated in any collusion, that I was aware of any collusion with the Russian government to hurt this country, which I have served with honor for 35 years, or to undermine the integrity of our democratic process, is an appalling and detestable lie.
Sessions vowed to defend his honor against what he called scurrilous and false allegations. Wally Hines, Capitol Hill.
The Mets reports that President Trump might fire the special counsel investigating Russia meddling. House Speaker Paul Ryan says the president should let the special counsel's investigation continue.
I think in the best case for the president is to be vindicated by allowing this investigation to go on thoroughly and independently. So I think the best advice would be to let Robert Mueller do his job.
The Senate nearly turns back a bipartisan bid to rebuke Saudi Arabia and reject President Trump's $500 million weapons deal with the kingdom.
The vote clears the way for the sale of arms to Saudi Arabia. A bipartisan group of senators had tried to block the deal, citing the Saudis' role in Yemen's civil war and the kingdom's human rights record. They said the arms would be used in the conflict against civilians. The sale reverses an Obama administration policy. The administration had put on hold the sale of precision-guided munitions to Saudi Arabia's armed forces after a Saudi airstrike on a funeral in Yemen last year killed more than 140 people. Linda Kenyon, Washington.
New York Fire Chief James Leonard says carbon monoxide was leaking from a broken boiler pipe into a mixed residential commercial building Tuesday.
We have 32 people injured. The injuries are all relatively minor.
Authorities ultimately traced the problem Tuesday to a broken boiler pipe in a grocery store basement. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Dennis Prager here, and for 2 years now, I've been telling you about my wife, Sue, who tried Relief Factor because of her knee pain, and it worked. And if you're struggling with ongoing back or neck pain, shoulder, hip, or knee pain, or general muscle aches and pain, do what my wife, Sue, did. Try Relief Factor. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call them toll-free 800-500-8384, 800-500-8384.
Kyle is a dog trainer.
Okay, Sid. Good boy.
In his personal time, Kyle's a personal trainer.
1, 2, good.
Kyle knows how to get results, but when it comes to mortgages, he's less confident.
Guilty as charged.
Fortunately, there's Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. It's simple, so he can understand the details and know he's getting the right mortgage. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Go to rocketmortgage.com today.
Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
A University of Virginia fraternity chapter has agreed to settle its lawsuit against Rolling Stone magazine over a debunked story about a rape on campus.
The Virginia Alpha chapter of the Phi Kappa Psi fraternity says that it is pleased to be able to close the book on the ordeal, stemming from the now discredited 2014 article, A Rape on Campus. Fraternity spokesman Brian Ellis says it has agreed to settle the case for $1.65 million. The fraternity says it plans to donate some of the money to groups that provide sexual assault awareness education, prevention training, and victim counseling services. The fraternity had sought $25 million over the story that detailed the alleged assault of a woman identified only as Jackie. Keith Peters, Washington.
NBC News elder statesman Tom Brokaw is challenging fellow journalists to write more about the scourge of fake news. The longtime anchor man said he has a longtime friend who believes blatantly false stories, even though Brokaw demonstrates to him that they're not true. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. The leader of the Democratic Unionist Party is in talks with British Prime Minister Theresa May over supporting a minority Tory government.
The Northern Ireland Secretary James Brokenshire this morning described the talks so far as positive and said he was confident of an agreement. Under the deal, there won't be a formal coalition, but the DUP will support the government on major votes, like the budget. Opposition politicians, however, have warned the deal risks undermining attempts to re-establish devolved government in Northern Ireland.
That's the BBC's Norman Smith reporting. The Australian government has reached a settlement with more than 1,900 asylum seekers who sued over their treatment at an immigration camp in Papua New Guinea. Australia refuses to resettle asylum seekers who arrive by boat and pays the impoverished Pacific island nation to keep hundreds of them. The asylum seekers were seeking damages for alleged physical and psychological injuries. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm Patrick Foss.
Hi, Tom Green with a check on your weather going into Wednesday. Scattered thunderstorms, a low around 66, a high around 90 with scattered showers and thunderstorms, and a low 66 Wednesday night. For Thursday, partly cloudy, scattered showers, a high 88, and Friday, scattered showers and a high 88. We thank you for tuning to us for the latest in news, sports, and weather. Join Jim Bishop at 6:05 for the Wake Up Call, Morning Call Around Report, and great gospel music. Lou Gillen midday. I'll be in the afternoon with the Braves baseball here on AM 590 WCAB Rutherford.
America's #1 show on pop culture and politics. This is the Michael Medved Show.
And another great day in this greatest nation on God's green earth, a great nation where criticism of our public officials is fine. It's part of what Americans do. It's part of our birthright. You're absolutely free to criticize the Democrats who are screaming about scandal and collusion and other charges against President Trump. Criticize away. You also, of course, have a right to criticize President Trump. What you do not have a right to do, not without consequences, is to suggest publicly or even subtly that assassination of public figures is appropriate. That's something that Kathy Griffin learned to her own great detriment. Remember, that was the comedian who I think did permanent damage to her career by posing for an utterly tasteless, inappropriate, unfunny, and disgusting and irresponsible photograph showing her holding up a head of Donald Trump. Now there is another group of creative personnel who are suffering because of another, it seems to me, inappropriate attack on President Trump. And you know what? They're actually paying a price. But they say they're glad to do it. Really? We will get to that story. We will also be covering a new report that shows that 2 billion people, 30% of all the people in the world, suffer from a medical condition which will probably shorten their lives and lead to all kinds of dire consequences, including early death. And what exactly should we do about it? And why is the situation getting so much worse with this often untreated, unrecognized affliction? We will get to that. It's based on a huge article, massive, and very well researched in the Journal of the American Medical Association. Actually, I'm sorry. It's the New England Journal of Medicine, but also prestigious medical journal. Okay, first off, the story about Julius Caesar. Now, usually you mention Julius Caesar. Didn't he die a long time ago? On the Ides of March, actually, about 2,000 years ago? Yeah, he did. But the play, Julius Caesar, will not die. Not at Public Theater in New York. It is performed at the Delacorte Theater. And this is one of those attempts to try to, quote, make Shakespeare relevant. And one of the ways that the Public Theater did that is by basically hiring a Trump lookalike. He's not really a body double or anything like that. The actor they have playing Julius Caesar does have sort of the comb-over, blondish hair sort of put back, and he's wearing a long red tie and is dressed in Trump-like clothes and shiny shoes. And apparently his gestures and delivery are meant to represent Trump, but since he's speaking Shakespearean lines, the substance of what he's saying, somewhat different. But they also create a wife, and you can see the pictures. It's meant to be a high fashion model type, and she speaks in what the Associated Press describes as a recognizable Slovenian accent. Now, I don't think anyone can identify a Slovenian accent. Can we just say it's Eastern European? Because anybody out there who can recognize the difference between, say, a Croatian or Romanian accent and a Slovenian accent, which the First Lady of the land has? In any event, why is this a problem? It's a problem because in the very middle of the play, spoiler alert, but this did happen 2,000 years ago, Julius Caesar gets knifed by a bunch of senators. And in the new production at Delacorte Theater, at the Public Theater in New York, you see Julius Caesar all knifed and stabbed by the senators who are planning to get rid of him. And as a matter of fact, he's lying there in a bloody heap. And no, it's not a pleasant vision when you are talking about the President of the United States. And I think that people who were behind this production should have considered it differently. Well, so do two of the major sponsors of the Delacorte Theater, which have withdrawn their funding. And I think that's appropriate. Here's the story as it's covered by the Associated Press. The Public Theater is refusing to back down despite backlash over its production of Julius Caesar that portrays a Donald Trump-like dictator in a business suit with a long tie who gets knifed to death on stage. Delta Airlines and Bank of America have pulled their sponsorship of the public's version of the play. But in a statement issued yesterday, the theater said it stands behind the production. Okay, the reason they're doing this is because the production only runs till Sunday. So it's just a few more days. And of course, they're saying, oh, yeah, now there are tons of people who are going to go out and come see it. It's noted its staging has, quote, provoked heated discussion, but such discussion is exactly the goal of our civically engaged theater. This discourse is the basis of a healthy democracy. I'm sorry, there's nothing about assassination that is characteristic of a healthy democracy. And by the way, the assassination of Caesar led fairly directly to the end of the Roman Republic. It was not a good thing. Other defenders included Scott Stringer, the New York City controller, who wrote letters to the heads of Delta and Bank of America arguing that dropping their support sends the wrong message. He writes, art matters, the First Amendment matters, expression matters. This has nothing to do with the First Amendment, expression, or art. This has to do with corporations saying, you know, this is a sickening thing. Anything that even hints at violence against a president of the United States, whoever the president is, whether his name is Obama or whether his name is Trump, it's illegitimate. It's not right. And I think these corporations are taking the right tack to withdraw their funding based upon this particular play. Now, the New York Times ends up, of course, defending the Public Theater. They defend the Public Theater by reference to other productions. Apparently, in the middle of the Obama administration, there was a performance by the Guthrie Theater in Minneapolis of the play Julius Caesar, where they had a black actor who dressed like Obama who played Julius Caesar, and he was murdered by a bunch of people who were dressed like white conservatives. And people didn't freak out about that. Well, maybe that part of that was because it was in Minneapolis, and maybe it was because there weren't serious people who were quite as outspoken against Barack Obama. And you can say, oh yes, but there was this guy Trump who was there with this stupid story, and it was a stupid story about Obama being born in Kenya, etc., etc. Yeah, but you know what? The idea of actually calling for the assassination of Barack Obama, and there was no attempt, at least in that version of the story, to try to carry it too far. And here, really, if you take a look at the photographs from the production, it's unquestionable that what they are trying to suggest is that Julius Caesar is a Trump-like figure. By the way, one of the things that's also peculiar about this production, they have Mark Antony as played by a woman, which implies what? That there's some kind of hanky-panky going on between Mark Antony. I don't even know if they call her, what, Marka Antony or Mary Antony. And no, it's Mark Antony. And she is not a transgendered woman. She's a woman who's, she's got a long ponytail. I mean, okay, look, I understand that they try to get something new or fresh or refreshing about Shakespeare productions. And the New York Times also brings up that Orson Welles, the great Orson Welles, maker of Citizen Kane, did a famous production of Julius Caesar in 1940 where they made Julius Caesar look like Mussolini. But okay, Roman, right? Roman. And Julius Caesar was invoked by Mussolini. Mussolini saw himself as a new Caesar, and he adopted some of the old Roman symbols, like the fasces, the fascist symbol, was borrowed from Rome. So that's not quite the same. They also show this Julius Caesar in a gold bathtub, right, which is not in the play, but is another reflection of some of the aesthetic that is associated with Trumpism. The entire thing is wrong-headed. Julius Caesar ends its run this Sunday so people can relax. Then the comedy A Midsummer Night's Dream begins in the park on July 11th. But there are some reasons to be concerned about what they're going to do with Midsummer Night's Dream. How would you adopt that play to make it a slam at Trump, which I guess is considered to be requisite by many people in the arts right now? We will get to that. Also, a study that says obesity afflicts a third of the human beings alive today. Not just overweight, obesity. We'll get to that and more on The Medved Show.
The Michael Medved Show. MichaelMedved.com.
The border adjustment tax is far-reaching. Why? Because it extends and increases costs for items beyond just the price of a new car. For example, the Auto Care Association estimates the 20% tax on imported goods and services would result in a $20 billion tax increase on auto parts alone. For the average family to simply fix your car would cost them approximately $1,100 per year. Now, that doesn't include increased costs for gasoline, groceries, clothing, shoes, even prescription meds that are estimated to cost the average American family another $1,700 per year. While many in Congress oppose the border adjustment tax, there's still work to be done. Please visit smarttaxpolicy.com to learn more. You can even email a letter to your congressman letting him know that you oppose it. There's a quick form you can use at smarttaxpolicy.com. Many say the border adjustment tax is dead on arrival in the Senate, but some members of Congress are still trying to increase your taxes. Go to smarttaxpolicy.com.
Bill O'Reilly is old school. His father was old school. Maybe you're old school and your father is too. Check out Bill O'Reilly's Old School, Life in the Sane Lane. In Old School, #1 best-selling author Bill O'Reilly takes on the latest wave of political correctness with good old-fashioned common sense. His lesson plan tears down the trigger warnings, sabotages the safe spaces, and schools the snowflakes on what makes America great. Just in time for Father's Day. Get back in the sane lane. Get Old School by Bill O'Reilly.
When I get to about 3/4,
when I get down to the bottom, a couple more scoops,
it's time to place my order. Dinovite.com.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite for your dog this week.
We'll send you a bottle of NomoFlea free.
NomoFlea flea spray kills fleas safely with no poison.
Because it's a polypeptide protein molecule made from
vegetable oil.
Try NomoFlea.
Free this week at Dinovite.com.
Just feed your dog right. Use Dinovite. DINOVITE.com.
The big Republican win in November shocked the media elites and shocked the political establishment of both parties. It was a wake-up call, and now the fight to make America great again is upon us. One organization has been standing up for conservative values all along, and for working-class Americans everywhere. AMAC, the conservative alternative to AARP. AMAC has been fighting for smaller government, Social Security reform, and religious freedom from the day it was founded. And while AARP was busy supporting Obamacare, AMAC was opposing the bill every step of the way. If you're over 50, I urge you to join the conservative